quarterback there in college. Kane has come over and really, solidified that quarterback position. So now he doesn't have to do all those other things he was doing before.
Everson's going to. That's an incomplete pass, so his first pass is incomplete. So we had a penalty on the first snap play before the first snap. Second play, they wanted to get Kane going a little bit. You can see they're going to go to Rynell Gant, who Kane Everson will probably rely on. He and Burnett and the receiving core very heavily this season. Probably looks like Jerome, just trying to get him active, trying to get him something a little bit out of the backfield, a little swing pass. But that can be a dangerous pass. Second down from their own 2 is the Cougars. Everson with the rush coming. Got to get away to get out of there. He's not going to get out of there. Is he going to get out of there? It's going to be a safety. Coatesville is going to put 2 on the board.
And there was really nothing Kane could do. The pressure came almost immediate in his face, so he had to do what he can do. In that case, could he have maybe thrown it away? Maybe, but he had immediate pressure in his face. So they were already backed up. You had a series of mistakes that put Harrisburg where they were, mistakes and penalties, and now they give up a 2-point safety. So now for Harrisburg, they have to settle down. Defense has to come out and try to exert themselves very quickly and see if they can get the ball back and really give themselves some level of offensive productivity. One of the things that we will say is we talked about at the beginning of the season and how sometimes that beginning of the season is very difficult with trying to figure out what you have as a team, especially Harrisburg. They have a lot of new pieces that they put together, so it may take some time.
Well, I saw busting through on the defensive side, number 22, Eric Kirk, 6'2", 200 pounds from that defensive line position. He's a senior. He busted through, and I tell you, Everson, Kane had to make one decision. It's either roll left or just tuck and get tackled. He tried to get out of the end zone, couldn't do it. Coatesville on the board early on, and will get the ball back. And over the other side, they brought a pretty good crowd, and they've got, last year, 53-49, he lost to St. Joe's Prep. Had plenty of opportunity. Ortega's club, Matt Ortega and his son at quarterback in the helms. Jim Catapio, the offensive coordinator, is a Pennsylvania Hall of Fame coach. And then on the other side, Calvin Everett. Boy, since he's taken over at Harrisburg, it's been nothing but. They only talk state championship at Harrisburg from now on.
Yeah, they definitely want to get back.
Damir Miller will take the kick across the 33-yard line. And boy, it's going to give Coatesville a short field with Ortega. Ortega, who had 45 touchdowns last year, and very impressive. Already, Villanova has offered. Colgate has offered. And Army. So, I mean, that's just the start for Mr. Ortega as his junior year.
But I'll tell you what, Todd, look at that offensive line for Coatesville. I mean, does that look like a college group or what? They're big all the way across. And we'll see, with the quarterback and Young running behind that.
First give is to Young, a Penn State commit up over the left side. He's been brought down by a host of Harrisburg Cougars.
And number 53, Patterson, makes the play at defensive line. And again, Harrisburg has some size. They may not be tall, but those kids are very stout in that front, that defensive front.
So it'll be a pickup of 3 for Young. Quick pitch again to Young left side. He's not got a lot of room. Great pursuit.
That was Gant on the play coming from the defensive secondary. I say the one thing that we have to keep an eye on is Andre White, number 1 for Harrisburg. He is the captain of this defense. He flows well to the ball, and it's very difficult to get outside on Harrisburg. They have speed everywhere.
And we talked about Gant being a receiver they're going to look at, but I like him in the defensive position. We talked about that last year. When he goes to college next year, I think they're going to look at him in the defensive secondary. Ortega. Oh, we got a halfback pass. Look at the end zone, touchdown, Coatesville, they're on the board. What a play.
That was a really good play. And I'll tell you, Kane Everson was in position. He was really in position to make a play. You could tell, the receiver got behind him, but he was able to recover, but he wasn't able to make the play when the ball was in the air.
A 30-yard hookup, and Ortega puts one on the board early. Well, it actually wasn't Ortega. It was Dupree Bryant, the halfback. Throws a halfback pass, connects to Damir Miller for the touchdown. And Coatesville on the board that quick. My goodness.
And being able to make a play call like that in a game this big that early is pretty impressive.
Not bad for a 3-play drive from their own from the 33, from Harrisburg's own 33. Results in a Coatesville touchdown. The holds down, the point after is up, and it's good. And it's 9-0 early on. Harrisburg, Coatesville. Take a look one more time at the halfback pass.
And the pre-Bryant.
All across Pennsylvania, families are living their lives in their own homes. Not long ago, none of these families believed it possible. And then they discovered there was someone who could help. What was once only a dream is now a reality. Welcome home.
Well, if you're just joining us, Coatesville on the board after a safety and a short field. They're on the board 9-0. Harrisburg kind of taking a look at it one more time. It starts off with left side Young. We thought we were going to see that a lot today. Then a quick pitch. Great defense here. Gant comes up and makes a beautiful stop on Young. But this right here, halfback pass. Bryant to Miller for 20 out. And Coatesville on the board 9-0 with 10:32 to play.
Seeing and looking downfield to throw the ball, but was able to escape when he needed to.
He's a halfback really with the ball in his hands. He does throw the ball well. Trips receivers to the right. Looks like early movement, but it wasn't. No flags. A dump off to Kayvon Hope on the catch from Everson.
No, I think that's Plant.
Was it
Jameer Plant?
Jameer Plant's another guy that you're going to see used a lot this year, only a junior. He got the ball in his hands last year. He's a playmaker.
And they have a lot of just skilled players, a lot of speed, a lot of guys that can carry the ball for Harrisburg. And this is turning out to be a pretty good drive for them if they can keep it going.
Third play of this drive. Got a bunch of double receivers here to the right, single to the left. Everson. Boy, he's shifty. He didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. He's going to actually lose a yard.
And I think the big thing with Kane is going to be to make sure he secures the ball when he's in traffic. So he's looking to escape a little bit and maybe take a little bit more time to go through his progressions and throwing the ball. Because, again, he has a lot of playmakers, and you don't want to see him taking shots all game long like that.
All right, 8:48 to play. Ball on the 45-yard line after a loss by Everson. Shotgun, trips to the right, gives. There might have been a fumble, I don't know. And now Coatesville says they have it. He said he's down, so he
And I'm telling you what, I'm not sure. Looking at that again, that may have been Harrisburg may have gotten a break on that one. We get a good view here. Handoff to Plant. It looks like he goes down, and yeah, he hits a leg before his knee hits.
Yeah, Plant on the carry for a yard.
So Harrisburg will get a break on that one because that would have been a turnover.
Boy, oh boy! I mean, that was a great job by our cameraman and Vicar crew, but I believe that looked close to a fumble.
Well, he never. If you look at the handoff, you know, as a running back, you make a pocket, and the job is to make the pocket. The quarterback's job is to put it in.
Right.
It's not, you know, running backs aren't supposed to grab at it. What it looked like when Plant came through the line of scrimmage, he didn't have the secure ball that he needed. So as he was getting hit and going to the ground, he was adjusting the ball, and then all it takes is a hand, and bam, it pops out.
Let's take another look at it again.
So look at that. Look at the exchange.
Oh, he did reach a bit. Yeah, he never had it. Look, you could tell he doesn't have the top hand over, as you said.
And it just wasn't secure. You know, it never was secure. So the good thing was for Harrisburg that they're going to be able to survive that without a turnover. But looking at it from the replay, it was probably a turnover.
And Jerome, as you said, many times a right-handed back will have their right hand on the top. It looked like he had left over, so didn't quite get it secure, but they're lucky to dodge the bullet there. 3rd down and 11 for Harrisburg. Shotgun formation, double receivers to right, single to left, and that's going to be a penalty against Harrisburg, their second one. It's going to be a false start. And Harrisburg's going to take another timeout just to talk about this, and this is probably good. We'll be right back with more here after these messages.
Hit the road with Jack.
Hit the road with the Jack Giambalvo family of dealerships. 8 great franchises in 3 locations. Buick, GMC, Hyundai, Mazda, and Stettler Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. A Giambalvo family dealership. Over $20 million in new and pre-owned inventory with unbeatable service after the sale, too. There's a reason the Giambalvo family's been a part of your community for decades. Hit the road with Jack and find out why. The Jack Giambalvo family of dealerships. 3 great locations. Online at Giambalvo.com.
Today's broadcast is sponsored in part by OSS Health, Giant Foods, and Capital Region Insurance. And as we talked about, we've got a great matchup here, 9-0. If you just tuned in, it was quick score. It was a safety that led to a short field for Coatesville. And they're up 9-0, and Harrisburg putting a nice drive together. 6th play of this drive, their 2nd drive here in the 2018 season. Everson look Plant's way. His pass is complete.
And that'll bring up a 4th down and about 1. So a good pass play hitting that seam, hitting the tight end in the seam. So this is a big play for Harrisburg. They have to get on the board, see if they can keep this drive alive, keep that Coatesville offense off the field.
Wakefield was on the catch from Everson. And that's going to be blocked and knocked down. I mean, great defensive effort by De Los Santos. Frankie De Los Santos is 5'9", 185. He's a senior. Let's take an opportunity now to go down on the sideline to Miss Grace Grill. Grace, your thoughts here in the first half?
Thanks, guys. Well, I don't think anybody expected Coatesville to come out that quite strong against this Harrisburg team, but what I will say is coming into this game, Andre White was the one to watch, and what I will say is I've been really impressed with quarterback Kane Everson coming in here. He's athletic, he's proven himself. His O-line wasn't giving him a lot of time early on, but he's making stuff happen for Harrisburg.
Ortega looking down the field, throws a 50-50 ball, and it's complete. You know, he's going to take chances. That's the one thing. He is an absolute gutsy quarterback. And he goes downfield to Bryant, which is caught. Bryant was in double coverage. Take a look at this. Yeah. Look at the throw off the back leg.
I think Ortega's strongest attribute is his accuracy.
That's actually,
and his ability to put the ball where his receiver can get it first. And that's what you saw, thrown into double coverage, but also put it on the money for his guy to get it.
22-yard pickup for Ortega to Sherman. Ortega looking back again, throws a beautiful out, and caught on the play is Dupree Bryant. He'll go to Bryant a lot this year. Picked up 9 on the play to Bryant. 3rd play of this possession. Give to Young, and there's just nowhere to go. Defensive effort there. Looked beautiful by Brian Yates. Brian Yates is a name we've called out many times here on the Harrisburg roster. Yates just busted through, and I tell you what, he just kept his position, kept his contain where he needed to be. Yeah. Drummond, I know you like that play from a defensive perspective.
Exactly. You shut down that lane, and you make sure the running back doesn't get upfield, and that's exactly what happened.
Ortega with time, going to roll right. Throws, connects. He's kind of making it look like just backyard football, isn't he? Just pitch and catch, throw.
Well, there's a lot of timing routes within. I mean, they have a very polished passing offense. And as you can see, you see guys breaking on their route, and the quarterback has already released the ball. And that's what you want when you have these timing routes. And that's hard for a defensive back to cover, especially when they haven't seen it a lot.
It's a 4-yard pickup to Bryant. Ortega on the keeper. No gain. Actually, the loss of 1 on the keeper. 6:56 to play here. 2nd and 6 in the red zone for the Red Raiders. At Harrisburg Cougar Band, one of the best bands in the land. They call themselves that, and very good so. I mean, Jerome, sometimes when they start rocking, it's very hard not to ourselves up here. I know I was trying to contain you there a few moments when they start that. When you start the drum roll. It's going to be the first penalty against Coatesville. Coatesville on the false start.
And again, look at this offensive line and the size. You know, you got Ricky Santiago at 305, 6'5" at that tackle position. You got Chris McBride at 6'2", 250. You have Matt Otwell, 6', 250. You have Joe Williams, 6'2", 270. And you have Aiden Geyer, and he's 250 pounds. I mean, that is a big, big line.
Young on the carry. Andre White come up to make the tackle. Andre White, the Texas A&M product. Had probably one of the best junior years you could have in the state last year. Led the team in tackles. Ortega shotgun formation. Dual receivers left, single to right. Fake to give, going to roll out right, has pressure, looking in the end zone, connects, and almost a beautiful one-hand catch by Bryant. It'll be incomplete.
And that was the good defense by Gant coming in and making that hit right at the end, because these Coatesville receivers will go up and get it, and they can get it with one hand. So good defensive effort. Ortega showed his ability to escape and deliver that ball. Brings up a 4th down, so a crucial 4th down, and it looks like Coatesville's going to go for it. Crucial 4th down for Harrisburg here. They get a stop here. They can try to change this momentum.
Well, they had
roughing the passer call.
No,
that changes everything.
It's a 3rd penalty against, is that? Yeah, roughing the passer.
And I didn't see that. I really didn't see that. But you know, maybe when we get a replay, we'll get a chance to see it. And I know there's a lot of protection, but
I didn't see it either, Jerome. It'll be 2nd and 1. Ball is now spotted on the 2-yard line after the roughing the passer penalty against Harrisburg. Ortega rolling right. He's going to keep it himself. Touchdown, Red Raiders.
And we know that Ortega can run the ball. He had almost 900 yards rushing last year, got in the end zone 10 times. So now the Cougars are up against it right now.
Just taking a look at it one more time. He's just going to roll right. Nobody's there. He sees it's wide open. Why not take it himself? And he's just very smart, makes all the right reads. Coach's son, too. Yeah, play action, bootleg, get the quarterback out in space, and he sees the daylight, suck that defensive end in, and get outside. 9-play, 20-plus yard drive. Capped off by a 2-yard touchdown by Ortega. Point after is up, and it's good, and they're on the board again. And 15-0 Coatesville up early on Harrisburg. We'll be back with more after these messages.
I can really buy local produce at Giant?
Yep, brought it in from our backyard. Well, not my backyard, but close.
Sweet.
Find out about our backyard at giantfoodstores.com/local. Giant, the official grocery store of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Welcome back. After roughing the passer, put him half the distance to goal line, Coatesville capitalizes on a 2-yard touchdown drive by Ortega. Here's Ortega. This is probably just that timing pattern catch. Made it look pretty easy, just pitching and catching, but this is going to be the 2-yard touchdown. He looks in zone, he's wide open, just a bootleg left, right, and touchdown. Ortega steps in, 15-0. They'll put points up early, excuse me, 16-0 on the point after it. It's kind of a quiet crowd now in Harrisburg. Coatesville's come in and just right out of the gate.
And again, mistakes put Harrisburg in early. With the bobbled kick return, and then all of a sudden the penalties that came after that, those are the types of things that get you out of rhythm. You know, you have an idea of what you want to do. Coach Everson has an idea, and then he goes in, and then all of a sudden you have to start and you have to alter that idea. So again, they're not in a horrible position right now. There's a lot of time. They just have to try to establish something. You get one score, then all of a sudden the game has changed. So you got to get yourself in position to score, limit the mistakes, and try to put points on the board.
Gant and Bernie on their way back. Morse's kick. It's going to be picked up at the 2-yard line by Plant. Plant's going to try to bring it back across the 30. Uh-oh. He's making something out of it across the 40-yard line, setting up Harrisburg with great field position. Boy, oh boy, he picked it up on the 2-yard line, bobbled it, But that's what he can do. He's a playmaker.
Yeah, Plant can definitely be a playmaker. We saw a little bit of this last year in his sophomore year, and now he's counting on to do a lot more of this, and that's what you need. You need one of your playmakers on special teams to come up and make a play, and I think he had an opportunity. If he didn't get caught from behind, he could have busted that open for a big game.
Third possession for Harrisburg. Shotgun formation for Kane Emerson. Gives to Plant, and oh my gosh, the play was blown up from the start. Absolutely blown up from the start. Coming in and making the tackle is John Meeks. He's 5'10", 240, the junior. He's got another year left. Meeks is a big, strong player.
And again, he just busts right through the line of scrimmage. He gets that penetration, is able to blow up the play right in the backfield.
It'll be 2nd and 13 for Harrisburg. Harrison's going to take it to the air again. Finds his receiver across the 50-yard line, and that's Rhinell Gant. That pass is complete. Pick up 11 on the play. It's a good ball. It's over 2 people into the secondary. So he has that ability. Kane Everson has that ability we've talked about.
Yeah, Kane can definitely play. I mean, you pegged it. He's more of an athlete playing quarterback, but he does have a lot of experience playing the position. So you don't have a novice player out there. It's just him getting used to this environment, this team.
It'll be 3rd and 2. Everson will keep it himself, crossing the 45.
And again, one of the things that we saw from him in his career, and when he was at East, his ability to make plays from the quarterback position with his legs, and you get a chance to see it again. He fakes it into the running back, and then he takes it, and he's not afraid to get his head in there.
Good pick up 6 on the play. Aaron Young made the tackle, the Penn State recruit. Or should say commit, actually. Everson bobbles the snap. Look out, they're coming. You don't even have a split second when it comes to that Coatesville Red Raider defense. Coming up to make the tackles, Nick Thompson. He's 6 foot 195. He's a senior, and I tell you what was it? One Mississippi, boom. Look at that, 2 guys there. I tell you, they're not giving him a lot of time.
You can't bobble the snap like that. I mean, you got to get a clean snap so you can, survey the field and do what you need to do. So again, another mistake for Harrisburg. So they have to clean those up in order to have the success they need. They take 2 steps forward, 1 step back. That's not going to get it done.
It was dangerous from the get-go, the snap. Shotgun formation again, twins to the left, a single receiver. Plant is lone back. And a penalty again. That's going to be the 4th penalty for Harrisburg here in the first quarter. Players from all over the state of Pennsylvania will be trying out for Team Pennsylvania and Advanced Hoops boys and girls AAU teams. Advanced Hoop is a leader in AAU basketball in South Central PA. Tryouts for spring teams are on October the 27th. For more information, go to www.advancedhoops.com. 2nd and 24, really second forever. Look for Coatesville to bring it. And Jerome, I mean, I know right now from a defensive standpoint, Coatesville doing some great things, but they are bringing pressure. They are gambling, and they can with the 16-0 lead here. Screen set up, and oh man, covered beautifully. And Jerome, just talk about scout-wise, early on, it just seems like Coatesville has a lot of numbers, has things going right. And they just knew this. They read the screen from the get-go.
Right. Well, you look at it. Number one, Coatesville is very talented. They have a very talented roster full of Division I prospects. Number 2, they are very well coached. So you can see a team that is very big on fundamentals. And they've come down into the mid-pen and they've been in some dogfights in the mid-pen. And I think they're catching Harrisburg with a team that is very different than what it's been, and they're trying to get their sea legs. They're probably going to be a very different team in 4 games than they are right now.
Ball on the 42. Big 3rd down, incomplete. Thompson breaks up the pass, and that's going to bring up 4th down and bring probably the punting crew on for Harrisburg.
So again, the offense, they seem to have the ability for Harrisburg to get positive yards, and then there's a mistake. or a penalty that backs them up. And once you're backed up, it changes your offensive play calling. So it really, you don't have a lot of plays in your playbook for 3rd and 20 or 3rd and 15. You know what I mean? So, again, they have to stay on script and being more manageable down and distance. And right now, Harrisburg has been backed up all game long to start.
Trevion Carey set to come in to punt for Harrisburg. Not going to get a whole lot on it. It'll be a fair catch by Bryant. And good field position again for Coatesville.
And that's what you see. Coatesville's field position is very good constantly. And on the other side, Harrisburg is always backed up. So, when you're backed up and you can't move the ball, you don't get a good punt. Coatesville gets the ball on their own 40. They're dealing with short field or medium field for themselves. So, again, Harrisburg, in order to flip the field, they have to limit these mistakes. That will change that and give them the opportunity to advance the ball.
Coatesville with the ball on the 40. Shotgun formation, Ortega. With time, looking downfield. He has his receiver across the 30. There's a lot of bump and flags are down. And I feel that's going to be an offensive penalty down Bryant. Bryant looked like he was pushing all the way along with Gant, but I don't know, Jerome. See if your perspective might be a little different. Let's go down to Grace Grill. Grayson, you might have had a better picture. There was a lot of bumping going on those flags. I thought it looked offensively versus defense. Your thoughts?
Couldn't get a good look at it, the exact position on the sideline, but I will say on that last throw, Ricky Ortega has so much trust in his line right there. He saw that Harrisburg defender coming at him, and he still was patient and got that ball off.
And that's a good observation, Grace, looking down the barrel. The quarterback has to stand in there sometimes and still deliver a good ball. Veteran quarterbacks can do that. And then Ricky Ortega, it's hard to say. We're talking about a veteran quarterback as a junior, but he's a veteran quarterback. He's seen it all. So he stared down the barrel. You trust in your conditioning program and your strength training, and you take that blow and deliver a ball. But, again, Harrisburg gets a good break from offensive pass interference.
Yeah, that went against Coatesville. That's their second penalty. I thought from the get-go Dupree Bryant bumped, pushed off to catch that ball, and the refs were on that right away. Dump off to Young, cross the 20, cross the 30. Man, Andre White comes over and makes a heck of a tackle. This kid just pursues the ball. Can you talk about his left or right pursuit?
Well, I mean, that's the one thing that's his strength. He diagnoses plays very well, and he's very quick to react. He's a very good athlete out there, and this summer he really worked hard on his size and getting himself bigger, stronger, faster. And when you see him close on the ball carrier goes down. And that's what you want from your linebacker. A little nasty in the middle and put the ball carrier to the ground with authority.
Ortega to Young with the pickup of 2 on that last play. Ortega rolling to his left, which he loves to do, looking up. And I tell you, of all the quarterbacks I've seen in the last few years, this kid can roll out opposite side, throw. We saw him in Cumberland Valley throw a 50-yard pass off his back foot rolling left. The athletic ability of this kid. Now look at this. Just look at the arm strength. Turn, lean sideways, throws the ball, overthrows it, but has that ability to do that so easily. Makes it look real easy, Jerome.
Yeah, he definitely is, and that's why you have the schools looking at him. And I would imagine you're going to see bigger ones. I mean, his size is probably what will deter some schools until they see him play, and then they're going to look at that and say, you know what, we don't care.
Pass complete across the 45.
And one of the things that I think is Harrisburg's strength is their ability to get to the quarterback. So, again, will Everson begin to dial up more pressure on Ortega as opposed to letting him just sit back there and do his thing? So it looks like it's 4th down. This defense has done their part so far. So it looks like they're going to have to punt, and Harrisburg will get the ball back. And now maybe they can flip the field because, right now this should give Harrisburg an opportunity to maybe get some good field position.
Gant back to receive the punt. A bad snap's going to give Harrisburg a great opportunity in the red zone. Thompson had to fall on it real quickly for Coatesville, went up over his head. You'll see it right here, and he thought about trying to see if he could punt it again, but it was a little bit too late. And coming up and making a great tackle was Brian Yates. Yates wasn't going to have it, was he?
And that was exactly what Harrisburg needed. Was a mistake from Coatesville that put them back, flipped the field. Now Harrisburg gets the ball first down on their own, on Coatesville's 10-yard line.
Fourth possession of the first quarter here for Harrisburg. First possession was a safety and a takeover on downs and a punt, so they haven't had much going for them offensively. Let's see what they can do from their own, from Coatesville's own 10-yard line. I thought there was a false start. I thought whistles blew. It looked like the offensive line of Harrisburg stopped moving at all, and they got Everson crushed.
And again, you get an opportunity to get really good field position, and your first play you go backwards, you know. So again, Harrisburg has to do a better job. Now there was some confusion even before this, because it was almost a question if they had the right personnel on the field initially. So they were looking at guys coming on and off, and just everything about that play wasn't good.
I thought it was a dead ball, and I think Harrisburg thought it was a dead ball. Kane Everson on the keeper, across the 5-yard line, across the 3, still pressing. He's going to get in. It's a Harrisburg Cougar touchdown, the first of 2018, and the crowd likes what they saw. Everson will refuse to go down.
And that's what Kane can do. He will tuck and run, and he had some help from his offensive line. Some of the big guys coming in and push him in the end zone, and Harrisburg gets on the board, able to erase that mistake that just happened.
A 15-yard keeper right here. You thought he might go down around the 1 or 2, but he stays on his feet. Touchdown, Kane Everson.
I'll tell you, Jeffrey Chisholm Wilkerson was not going to let him not get in. Number 55, he hugged Kane and basically carried him into the end zone.
Well, 2-play drive. 15 yards, results in an Everson touchdown. And it looks like Harrisburg's going to want to talk this one over. And we'll be right back with more after these messages.
Groff Tractor is your full-line equipment dealer representing Case Construction and many other leading brands, serving the total sales, rental, parts, and service needs of its customers. Groff Tractor paves the way for your projects from start to finish. With 11 locations, Groff Tractor is always close by your equipment needs. Groff also offers 24/7 field service. Groff Tractor is your #1 source for everything under construction.
High School Sports Live is proud to partner with Mazzetti and Solomon, a provider of substance use and mental health counseling services for teens and adults at 4 convenient locations across Central PA since 1983. Visit them at MazzettiandSolomon.com or call 1-800-809-2925. That's Mazzetti and Solomon. We listen, we help. Coming up at halftime, stay tuned. Jack Jimbavo, halftime report, our Highmark halftime stats, and our PHFA interview with Charlie Fortney and Brian Hudson. It appears that Harrisburg is going to go for the 2-point conversion. We got a different shift, well, they are going to kick. I just check out this shift here. Maybe it is going to be a kick. Oh, they snap it over. Look at this 2-point conversion. It's going to be knocked down. I mean, a little trickery from Calvin Ever and his staff. I mean, Jerome, I'd like to just kind of go back and take a look at this. We'll hold that thought. We'll come right back with more after these messages.
Every day, we pride ourselves in what we do. Hard work is put into every pre-owned vehicle we put on the road. We make sure they are all safe and reliable for your peace of mind. Your real value comes from the Hoffman name and the people that stand behind it. So if you're in the market for a pre-owned vehicle, just call me, Ryan.
Well, welcome back. Harrisburg went for the 2-point conversion, and it was knocked down, but right from the get-go, it had something different going on, as you see the different exchange of positioning, so to speak. I thought for a second maybe Kane Everson was brought in to be the holder. The ball was snapped far left, and Plant intended to do a little skip jump, almost Tim Tebow-ish, right? Am I right?
I don't know what that was.
And this is what led to a Harrisburg touchdown. It was a bad snap. And Harrisburg had good field position from their 10, had a penalty that backed him up, or sack. Then Everson decided, no, I won't refuse. I'm going to get in the end zone for a 15-yard keeper touchdown. And Harrisburg's on the board down 10 now, so it's going to be a whole new ball game. And Harrisburg kind of needed that. They needed to get this ugliness out of their system. Started off their very first drive, got the ball in their own 2, safety. Coatesville then comes back, gets a short field and scores. And just like that, they jumped on them pretty quick.
They need to flip the field. And again, they need to flip the field again and keep it there. And really have some positive yards. And now we have another penalty, which is offsides on the kickoff.
So we have offsides. It's the 4th penalty for Harrisburg here in the first quarter. And that's the kind of things you're going to talk about this week later on when you start looking back at this film, is his penalties killing you. But early on, we kind of talked about that, Jerome, that you're going to see some let's just call it flat-out ugliness in the beginning of the game. But Coatesville seems right now they're limiting. They've had 2 penalties for 20 yards. Harrisburg's been penalized 5 times.
Well, you know, you expect it sometimes, but it doesn't always happen. Like, for instance, yesterday's game at Northern York, that wasn't an ugly game, and it all depends. I mean, there are different things that factor into what makes a game ugly. Sometimes it kind of goes down that course, and it's hard to stop it and slow it down. But, again, you have to regroup and then come back out and try to establish yourself again.
Across the 30-yard line. Ball will be taken by De Los Santos. Santos will cross the 40, still on his feet. Fighting to get to the 45 beside of that. Ball at the 43-yard line for Coatesville. They'll have their 4th possession of the half. Last one resulted in a punt. First one was a touchdown. A halfback pass for a 5-yard touchdown, and then Ortega on a 2-yard keeper. Their 3rd possession, they punted.
And again, this defense for Harrisburg has to once again try to rise to the occasion against a really tough offensive unit for Coatesville. In the last drive, they did exactly that. They were able to back Coatesville up and then get a touchdown on it.
Ortega picks up a bad snap and gives it to Young, but I think the ball was touched on the ground. He picked it up off maybe his knee, maybe his foot.
No, what happened was when he got the ball, his knee was down, so they're going to call him down. Right here, if you see, bam, knee goes down, and he has the ball in possession. He's down, the play's dead. So again, now you're seeing the reverse. You're starting to see Coatesville starting to make those mistakes, and Harrisburg trying to capitalize.
Ball on the 42-yard line. Ortega, shotgun formation. You have twin receivers left, 1 single receiver far right. Looks like he's calling the plays of the line. I tell you, Coach Ortega gives his son a lot of freedom. And here's the one thing I want to talk about that coaching staff on both sides, but on the Coatesville side, Jim Catafio, who's a Pennsylvania Hall of Fame coach. Now, he's had 2 quarterbacks in the Elite 11, so it's kind of a special relationship to have a guy as the offensive coordinator in charge of a quarterback like Ortega, like Ricky. Ricky's going to roll out left, finally gets away. He adjusts his helmet while he's running. And still finds something across the 40. I thought for sure he was going to be taken down.
And again, right now, Coatesville is off offensively right now. They're off. I mean, that's 2 snaps in a row that there was a problem. This time, Ortega gets it off his face, or he gets hit off his face from his own player. And you think this should have been a loss, and it ends up being a positive game for Ortega getting upfield. So this offense is now out of sync.
So it'll be a 3rd down and 10 for the Red Raiders. Ball on the 42. Ortega with pressure, stays in the pocket, delivers. And there's a lot of holding on this side. They're going to let it go. It's going to be incomplete.
And Gant had amazing coverage right there. And again, Ortega's, he's throwing that ball, and there was one of Harrisburg defensive ends was coming bearing down right on him. And he looked it in the barrel and still delivered that ball. And you see, that was number 15 for Harrisburg, Elijah Scott, coming off the end.
Yeah,
Good
Scott
defensive series for Harrisburg.
Scott came hard. Now, Donna, here's two holds, 2 possessions where there was 2 punts right now for Harrisburg, where they've held the Red Raiders. If you're a Cougar fan right now, you've got something to be a little bit excited about here with 3 seconds to go. A little bit of a momentum shift and change in this ball game, probably where we expected it to be, Jerome.
And again, it's what's in sync and who's not. And right now, Coatesville is out of sync like Harrisburg was. So they have a lot of penalties. They're making mistakes, bobble snaps, and now the field is flipped. Harrisburg has the momentum. They have to be able to capitalize on that momentum now. If they score again, then again they're coming back into this game, and the ball game changes again.
So that's 3 penalties for 20 yards for Coatesville.
And that was all on the same drive.
Right. Thompson's punt. He's going to roll over and bounce across the 30, be spotted down at the 24-yard line because it's still rolling, and Coatesville's trying to help it at the 24-yard line. I mean, it got a little help there. Maybe it was the wind it picked up in our anyway, Harrisburg will have the ball at the 24-yard line. Grace Grill had an opportunity to catch up with Coach Young, the assistant coach of Coatesville. Red Raiders to go to Grace.
Hey guys, I'm here with Coatesville coach Anthony Young. You're producing football players, man. You have Jordan Young playing football at Old Dominion University. He's got Avery at Rutgers, and Aaron is on the field here. How proud are you as a father?
I am extremely proud. I feel blessed, and it's been a great journey. And they love playing football. They love what they do, and we love to have fun as a family doing it. So.
Now I got to ask you about coming into this game. This is probably the most highly anticipated matchup in Pennsylvania right now. All eyes. Give me your thoughts on the game today.
Well, it's going to be a great one. You got 2 evenly matched teams. I see them as evenly matched. We have some guys who hadn't played a lot before, and they have some guys who hadn't played a lot in the past. Great atmosphere, great weather, great temperature, great climate. Should be a heck of a game.
Thanks so much.
Well, that's a great seats. Some of the best seats in the house, we think, Grace Grill for that interview. I don't know. Jerome, I wouldn't mind calling one from over there in the grass. What do you think?
Hey, they're in the shade. They're on their cell phones. The kids are just chilling. I mean,
we got a Phillies fan. Look, he's getting real comfortable.
Most little kids don't sit there just relax like that. They're running around. I know my grandson's doing that. But, it's a good atmosphere. The weather has been perfect. Not too humid. The sun's out. You definitely want your players to make sure they're hydrating good throughout the game, but this is not overly a bad weather day for football.
A cool breeze today, and I think those guys are probably happy sitting on the sideline because they visited the Harrisburg Cougar concession stand. We had some of those wings that we love. We've got to give them a shout out, Jerome. I mean,
we need a whole segment to discuss the wings now. And I told the young ladies down there, and I'll tell you what, they are the nicest women in America, and they make some good food. And I don't eat fried food all year long until I come here one time a year to eat it, and it's amazing. And I may pay for it later, but I'm okay.
Well, we have a penalty on the play. We had a run. Harrisburg got a great pickup in the play before. Penalty now.
Like against Coatesville?
That's going to go against Coatesville.
So again, another penalty for Coatesville, and Harrisburg has to find out and see if they can take advantage of it.
That's 4 penalties now on Coatesville. So. Lemire Johnson on the carry for Harrisburg. And Oliver coming up to make the tackle for Coatesville.
And again, Johnson's a bigger back, and you're going to see them try to get the ball into his hands and see if he can get that north. He's a north-south runner, so a good 4 or 5 yard gain from him.
Everson faked it, rolled left, throwing, and the ball's going to be tipped. It's going to be almost picked off by Diamond Miller.
And I think for Everson, that's what you don't want him to do. you know, when he comes out like that, you want him to throw the ball away. I understand he's trying to make a play, but that was dangerous. And right now, you're in a good situation here. You're trying to establish something offensively. You got points on the board. Coatesville is making a lot of mistakes right now with penalties, and then you don't want to give the momentum back to them. So right now, the momentum is at a stalemate. You want to try to take it if you're Harrisburg.
Ball on the 39-yard line, 3rd and 6, 10:46 to play. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, our Jack Jimbalvo halftime report, our Highmark halftime stats. And we'll have interviews at halftime, but we got flags down.
I think they had too many men on the field and in the huddle.
That's the 50 turnover. 5 for 50, excuse me, for Harrisburg. They've been penalized. Those things come back to haunt you. But as you said, the same thing's starting to happen to Coatesville a little bit. We saw more flags down. Yeah, beautiful day, as you mentioned, too. Nice cool breeze. We can't argue getting an opportunity to do what we're doing, Jerome, every Friday night and Saturday to call some football games. Mm-hmm. Again, we welcome our PCN crowd and our ABC crowd. Great start to our 2018 season. Everson, right side, kept it himself.
And again, one of the things about Kane Everson is he's very shifty when he runs. So he's able to cut on a dime. He tries to get outside, cuts up field, actually turned it into a gain as opposed to a loss, but it's not enough for Harrisburg. Good idea to punt it away.
So they'll stall on this drive. Young and Bryant back to receive this punt. This penalty is going to go against Harrisburg. And you heard the gripes from the coaching staff right from the get-go. A lot of guys in the black shirts shaking their head right now. They're going to wave off that flag. So there is no penalty. You got to be careful with Young back there. Going to go opposite his side. Crossing the 50-yard line is Thompson. And flags down. I don't know. There was some pushing and shoving over there in the huddle. And is it going to be an unsportsmanlike against Harrisburg?
It could be on that sideline.
So let's take a look at this. Thompson picks the ball up. That wasn't Thompson, excuse me. That was Sherman, Frankie Sherman. Now we'll see what happens right after this. Oh, it's a late hit out of bounds.
I think they're going to get Jai Burney with a late hit out of bounds.
Jai Burney did come up and almost went, really kind of went helmet to helmet.
So again, this will, let's see what the penalty yards will look like against Harrisburg.
That's 6 penalties now. Six penalties for 60 yards. Boy, they'll come back to hurt you.
It definitely will. But again, you have to buckle down defensively, see if you can get out of this half without allowing Coatesville to score again.
And Harrisburg has buckled down. They've been able to hold Ortega back to pass. Looking downfield, flags are down. 50-50 ball again. He is not afraid to throw it up for his receivers. Well, we got flags down at the 30. Let's go down to Grace Grill. Grace, I don't know, maybe your perspective from where you were. The flag is down at the 30. Did you see maybe what had happened?
I'm making my way down there, but what I will say is what Jerome touched on is this momentum. When you have penalty after penalty, that just kills your momentum. And I don't think this Harrisburg team has found their rhythm yet. Yeah, they got on the board, but they haven't had a good, solid drive. And the consistency isn't there. So I'd like to see them get that going in the coming minutes.
Thank you, Grace. That was a sideline warning against Harrisburg.
And again, it's one of those situations where, they haven't really gotten their rhythm on either side of the ball. They have settled down somewhat on defense, but penalties are really hurting this team. And it's hurting both teams at this moment.
Give to Young. Young left side, crossing the 40. He crosses the 37. Take a look at it again. Running hard as he can.
And so far, Harrisburg has done a good job on Young. You had Elijah Scott coming from that linebacker position, makes the play there. That the defense have done a good job bottling up the running game for the most part.
They tried again the halfback around. They don't mind letting Bryant throw the ball, but that's going to be incomplete. He did have.
Yeah, I mean, the idea was good, but then Harrisburg defensed the first read pretty well. So at that point, Coatesville became in desperate mode to try to get something going. And again, Harrisburg they defensed that very well. There was really nowhere to go with the ball.
Originally, Shamir Hall was open, and then decent coverage in the secondary, and they read that when Harrisburg knew that was coming. Shotgun formation for Ortega. Single receivers left and right. Young is split to his left. They'll put Young in motion. He's going to roll right. Looking downfield, he'll take the hit, throwing it up. And it's almost a beautiful one-handed catch by Demir Miller.
And again, that was very good coverage, and yet Ortega put the ball where only his guy had a chance at it. So again, you see a polished passer there, and even though it was incomplete, you know, he was able to get that ball, and that's decent coverage right there by number 9, Dante Kent. I mean, it's decent coverage. It's just that the ball was only his receiver can get it, or nobody gets it.
Dante Kent, again, another great defensive back. We've talked about him through the years. He, again, is only a junior at 5'10", 165 pounds. Very quick defensive back, a guy that we can see be playing at the next level. But you're right, Ortega threw a nice ball. More importantly, I think Miller messed his stride up and just kind of tripped. One more half step and it's a touchdown. Kane Everson will take over on downs. The give is to Purdy.
And again, I think Harrisburg is having some success going north-south. I mean, the line is doing a good job. These little backs are kind of hard to see. So getting upfield, getting north-south has been positive, and then Kane Everson pulling the ball out on that halfback option.
Purdy will pick up 4, 2nd down and 7. Johnson on the carry. We'll gain 1 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 6 for Harrisburg. Plant comes back in left of Kane Everson. He's got trips to his left and a single receiver right. Jukes and fakes and crosses a 50-yard line. And Everson's hurting Coatesville with his feet.
He is, and that's what he does. He's been doing that his whole career. And again, you see him pull it down, and he immediately takes off. He sees the pressure. He goes the opposite direction, goes right, gets upfield, gets a first down. And right now, he's the one that's causing the damage for Harrisburg.
He picks up 15 on that play. Pressure, runs into his own offensive lineman, still manages to keep it on his feet, crosses the 40-yard line to the 39, and a pickup of 6 for Everson.
And again, you know, as effective as he's been, you know, your worry is your quarterback is taking shot after shot after shot. He's shifty, so he's not getting blasted. But I mean, this is, you know, is this something that he's going to do all game or all season? And if so, that's going to be a long season for him. He's definitely effective though, but.
I can't see him not doing that all season. We've seen him so many times, called his name so many times. That's Plant on the carry.
I mean, my thing is he's a playmaker, and he has a lot of playmakers around him. He
doesn't need to do that. In other words, you're saying, right.
So I think he's doing it by necessity, and it's working, and it's paying off. And you want your quarterback to be able to do that. It's just that, you know, you want him to last the season too.
So it'll be shotgun formation, the ball on the 39, make it 38-yard line. Harrisburg, 6th play of this drive. You quad receivers to that side. He's going to throw kind of a bubble.
And that's what I'm talking about.
To Kayvon Hope.
Getting the ball into your playmakers. You have a lot of them. Harrisburg can field a team with all skill players that can run, all skill players that can get upfield. Of course, Kane is going to do his part, but getting the ball to those other guys as well, because that'll stop Coatesville from keying on him so much.
That would be a pickup of 9 yards. 7th play of this drive. Got the same play, different formation. The left side now, got 4 receivers. Look for that kind of bubble bunch like they do things. Single receiver far right. 1st and 10. Everson looks that way. Crosses the 30, and then he fumbles the ball, but it's going to be recovered by Harrisburg. Almost a terrible mistake. Almost a man, oh man.
And that's that keeping the ball out so far as he's running the ball. And I said it early in the game, he has to be able to protect the ball. But on the positive end before that play, it's still a positive game. There, you see Harrisburg's kind of trying to get a rhythm here. This is a decent drive for them. They're actually looking pretty decent, and they were able to escape the fumble on that play. So they keep the drive going.
Ball on the 24. Harrisburg driving here. 5:05 to play before half. Everson, bad snap. He's going to, oh, he has no time. I'll tell you what.
And that's the momentum.
Can we talk just for a moment about number 9, Nick Thompson? He has blown plays up today.
Well, he's not in that
but
situation.
He's just right there.
He just was there. You unimpeded quarterback mistake. Bam. You blow up.
But
the
I
play.
mean, even prior to that,
yeah.
he has blown up some plays today with his pursuit. He is physical. Gets after the ball. He's 195-pound linebacker, 6 foot. But we got a timeout here. We'll be back with more after these messages.
Groff Tractor is your full-line equipment dealer representing Case Construction and many other leading brands, serving the total sales, rental, parts, and service needs of its customers. Groff Tractor paves the way for your projects from start to finish. With 11 locations, Groff Tractor is always close by your equipment needs. Groff also offers 24/7 field service. Groff Tractor is your #1 source for everything under construction.
Well, welcome back. 16-6, 4:39 to play here in the second quarter. Coming up at halftime, don't go anywhere. We got our Jack Giambavo halftime report, our Highmark halftime stats. And Jerome, this game has turned interesting right now.
Yes.
Kind of what we expected. You know the Cougars are not going to roll over. I mean,
no,
I mean, I think it is
right. I mean, right now they've tried to make the last few years the new norm here. So again, drawing this Coatesville team as your first game is always huge, and for Coatesville, drawing Harrisburg is huge. So I think this is a good game for both teams to be able to see where they are to start the year. And remember, Todd, both have very, very brutal conferences that they play in as well.
3rd down 15. Everson looking downfield. Going to throw it up, and it's going to be almost picked off. I mean, that was a dangerous pass. Shamir Hall, the 5'6", 170-pound junior, almost picked that one off.
Yeah, it came through in the triple coverage there, and he was able to survive that. So you figure, Hall gets the seam, but really there's no, at that point I would just throw that away because that could have been a pick.
Still need a guy coming on. They had 10 on the field. They got 11 now, Harrisburg. Back to receive the punt is Dupree Bryant. And Harrisburg are down at the down at the 5. Last 2 possessions for Harrisburg has resulted in a punt. Coatesville have the ball back.
And again, now Coatesville is backed up. Harrisburg has a time to flip the field on Coatesville. It's 4:25 left in the quarter, so there's still enough time for both teams to put more points on the board. But it's gotten sloppy, which has extended the game because of all the penalties.
So Coatesville have the ball on their own 5-yard line here for 4:25 to play before half. Ortega give to Young. Young has had some trouble against this Cougar defense.
Yeah, if there's one area we can say with Harrisburg defensively has been how they bottled up Young. Their run defense is stout, and we thought that would happen. And truthfully, as a whole, their defense has done very well. When you look at Coatesville's scores, none of them were long drives. They were given short fields and they capitalized. So far, the Harrisburg Cougar defense has really done a really good job. Even though they're down 16-6, they've done a good job of bottling up this Coatesville offense. There has not been a lot of offensive productivity from Coatesville. They had a couple of drives, but they were short fields.
Right. Young will pick up 6 on the play. And it'll be 3rd and 5 for the Red Raiders. Trips receiver right, and Harrisburg's going to jump off sides. It's going to. Well, they had the 3rd down they wanted. They had 3rd and 5, and they had them backed up. They're going to give them some more.
And that'll give them a first down.
Penalty, 7th penalty of the half. Ortega's going to keep it. Going to go around left. Stay on his feet. There's going to be a flag down. Boy, did he get hit. Andre White came up and put a hit on him. And Rondre's down.
He's down.
He's looking at, I think man. That was a collision is the best way to describe that. A full-speed collision.
And we know Andre White.
He came full speed. I'm telling you what, he does not. This kid is an Iron Man. He is tough. Take a look at it again. Ortega's going to keep it. You'll see Young coming out of your screen. Just bam. I don't know if he got a shoulder from maybe Kayvon Hope looked like he come in. Did he get his shoulder in the helmet maybe?
Yeah, it's hard to see what happened, but I know he's, get him checked out, make sure he's okay.
Yeah, let's hope.
But then there's a penalty against Coatesville, so it goes back.
So it's 1st and 17 for Coatesville. Ortega going to roll left. We know he's very effective doing it. He's going to just kind of, I don't know, did the ball hit the ground? They called a complete pass.
Yeah, I think that was incomplete. It looks like, let's see up here.
Take another quick look right here. Does it hit the ground?
Yeah, it hit the ground. Well, there's 2 problems. A, it hit the ground, and well, it looked like it did, and B, it's his foot out of bounds. That's what I was looking at.
Well, the call complete. Ortega, 2nd and 11. Give to Young. Young bouncing across the 25, short of the 30-yard line.
Let's get a chance. See if he was able to pick it up. Either way, I mean, it was a completed pass, so it doesn't matter.
Good camera
so
work.
He picked it up.
Catch. Everybody calls the catch. We've had in the play. We're 1st and 10, the ball on the 28. Aaron Young again. Good 5-yard pickup for Young. We're starting to see a little more dose of Young now, a little mix in this pass play call here.
And he had his probably his best run, his most productive run was the last play. Because up until that point, Harrisburg's done a good job defending the running game.
Low snap. Ortega handles it, looks downfield, fires it, and the pass will be complete across the 25-yard line to Dupree Bryant.
And Gant was in position. I mean, that was a good defensive play. It's just or good defensive positioning, but he's just not able to do anything with it. There's no pressure up front. And again, you know, good play by the receiver. Bryant just going up. He's not big, 5'8", 175 pounds, and he just goes up and gets the ball.
Give to Young.
He runs right into number 1, Andre White, in the middle of that defense, and it seems like he's okay. He's back in the game.
It's a 40-yard pass catch. That's Coatesville up at the red zone. Give Young. Young left side running hard. Young's going to move the chains. Now he's running hard. Now you're seeing exactly what Penn State saw in this kid. Take a look again. A square in the shoulders, Jerome. When he turns here, one more time. Before that, we just got the one shot behind that where he squares shoulders. When he gets going running hard, he's also a physical back. Maybe doesn't look it quite.
He definitely is, and I think one of the things that you see from him is just getting north-south and breaking through. And that's the thing, when a running back has been bottled up all game, you don't stop going to him because all it takes is one. They can break it open with one, and you've seen some of his best runs took place on this drive. So you keep feeding your back. Even if your back is struggling, you keep feeding your back. So there you go. I mean, keep feeding him the ball.
We have a downed Cougar on the play. Let's take an opportunity to go down to Grace Grill on the sideline. Grace?
Well, you never want to see a kid go down. Looks like it's a shoulder from that last play. But what I will say is I think this heat is starting to get to some of these kids down here. I mean, you see the break, and these kids are asking for water, hands on hips, that type of thing. I will say it's hot down here. I'm eyeing up that milkshake stand.
Hey, we'll make it 2 more on your order, okay?
Farm Show milkshakes.
We'll have 2 chocolate. Well, our next broadcast coming up next Friday. We're excited about this one. Cumberland Valley goes to Central York. A beautiful place down in Central York. Great football field. Great football tradition in both schools. That's next Friday at 7 o'clock is our kickoff. I'm excited for that one too, Jerome.
Yeah, definitely.
Good cross-city matchups between York and Harrisburg. And I like Coatesville here in Harrisburg. We're going to see a Red Lion game. So, you know, we went to Northern York last night. So we're getting around a little bit, tasting the taste of the area.
Definitely.
I mean, you know, right now going into the season, #1 ranked concession stand is Harrisburg. Stilton's not going to like this, but that Kabasi, #2.
That is good. That's good Kabasi. I don't get it much, but right here, I'm always good when I come to Harrisburg when it comes to their concession stand.
Shotgun for Ortega. 1:22 to play. Give to Young. Young around the right side, crossing the 10. Looking for a block, crossing the 5-yard line, and there'll be a flag down. 9-play drive here. Very effective second half drive here right before halftime, and Coatesville looking to punch it in.
And there you see Andre White again in the mix.
Flag is. Did they pick the flag up?
No. I think it's against Coatesville, maybe holding. Yep.
Coatesville been penalized 5 times for 55.
Well, I know Grace talked about seeing guys, you know, hunched over because of the heat. And again, when you're on defense and a team is just running the ball at you and you don't have a lot of substitutions coming in, it tends to wear you out. And that's what it looks like is happening now. Coatesville made a commitment to running the ball right at Harrisburg, and they've had success, especially on this drive.
All right, that's going to back up Coatesville, give Harrisburg another chance to stop, get a hold here before half. Coatesville. Ortega with time. Rolling left, backing up, and just going to throw it away. Good decision. And there's another flag down. They're going to wave off that flag. I was going to say, there's been a lot of laundry thrown now.
Yeah.
5 penalties on the Coatesville side, 7 on the Harrisburg side. For 49 seconds, 2nd and 12 for Coatesville, looking to punch this in. 10-play possession. Low snap again for Ortega. He handles it. Screen set up to Young. Young crossing the 15, stand on his feet, and he'll be wrestled down by Elijah Scott, coming up and making a nice play.
And that was just good defense by the Cougars. Their pursuit is probably their strength. They do a good job of pursuing to the ball carrier and then making the tackle. So you see Young getting outside, but then just good defensive pursuit by Harrisburg coming up and making the tackle. Brings up a 3rd down. So again, this Harrisburg defense in bend but don't break mode right now.
We'll stay right here during this timeout, and you know, I'm looking over there at Coatesville, and just those uniforms just looking so Ole Miss-like. It's almost
they
like
do.
I'm watching Ole Miss.
Exactly.
That's what we talked about it being an SEC game, did we not? It's kind of that power-type matchup.
Right. Looks just like Ole Miss.
I'm excited about a lot of things. High school football, I'm excited about college. I'm excited about the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know you're excited about the Eagles. I mean, when the fall comes around, I got to be honest with you, I try to keep up with you, but I'm going to put on about 5 pounds.
From the 5 pounds you put on already.
Last season, prior to well, I needed a little bit of football weight. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I think I'm going to join you because of these wings that we tore down. And we ate them rapid speed, too, didn't we?
Oh, those wings went down.
We're sorry at home. We have to keep giving respect to the seat, to the concession stand here. And we just had such a good time with that.
We appreciate it. You know.
Oh, I mean, definitely. It's a diet. It's one of those days where, you know, it's football season. Hey, man, break your diet. Go ahead.
I call it Todd's Talk. I love to talk food, you know. Next Saturday, I'm going to be smoking pork for the start of college football season. Why not, right? Ortega back to pass, rolling right, looking downfield, and he'll throw it away. He makes good decisions. He loves to, in this offense, Jim Contafio loves to, they like to roll him left and they roll him right. And I tell you what, he can throw on both sides. We've seen it.
Right. The reason why they roll him right, it's a run-pass option in many cases. And because of the fact that he's such a skilled runner, he can hurt you by getting outside. So if you want to play it safe and try to play coverage, he can turn it upfield and get yardage on you, and he does well. And if you want to play and come at him, he can deliver the ball. And then he makes the smart decisions. Twice, he threw it out of bounds. You know, he took a hit there, but he avoids hits a lot of the time. So you can tell he's a smart quarterback. He's a polished quarterback for being as young as he is. It's amazing to see. But every now and then, you'll see a guy that comes along that is a polished quarterback at a young age, and you see what he can be when he's on the field. So definitely a good player.
And I think offers are going to come more. Like I said, Colgate, Army, Villanova. He was very impressed with Villanova and their staff and their commitment to his recruiting process for him. You know, we know that Penn State's kind of lurked on the outside, taking a look at him. I mean, with Young going there, I'm sure Young will be effective in the recruiting process for Ortega. But I don't think the offers coming in are done yet, and there could be more that I don't even know about at this point in time. I mean, I try to follow a lot of these guys on Twitter, their Instagram accounts. They kind of keep you updated on things that are coming. But we've got a lot of guys on the field right now between Coatesville and Harrisburg that are in decision making. I think there's going to be a lot of PSAC players out there right now, defensively and offensively, on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, I love right now Nick Thompson's play from the linebacker position, Andre White linebacker. We're talking about guys right now you're going to hear their names mentioned, and you hear their names mentioned in high school, in the college, and then you look on our roster and see guys that have played on this field. They're playing in the NFL. Martin, prime example, Robert Martin, guys like that. I mean, we have a lot of players out of this area, Capital Region area, that's playing at the highest level. Shotgun formation. Halfback packs option. They're going to go to Ortega's side, and they fool him. Touchdown, Coatesville. Oh, my goodness. They're pulling it all out. Jim Contafio and the Coatesville Red Raiders are pulling out all the trickery.
They did the Philly special.
Philly special is what it's called. I mean, touchdown.
Philly special.
Ortega now on the catch. He's got one to run. He's got a catch. Young delivers perfectly to his buddy. Look at this. Just walks down the sideline. Thank you very much. Touchdown.
And that was a gutsy call to call that play. And again, you know, now you have total command of this game, up 22, possibly 23-6.
13-yard pickup kind of weird to say young to Ortega instead of Twig to young. But that's what it was. The point after is up and good, and they put one more on the board, 22-6, 20 seconds to go. We'll be back with more after these messages.
Every day, we pride ourselves in what we do. Hard work is put into every pre-owned vehicle we put on the road. We make sure they are all safe and reliable for your peace of mind. Your real value comes from the Hoffman name and the people that stand behind it. So if you're in the market for a pre-owned vehicle, just call me, Ryan.
Well, welcome back, 23-6. Young to Ortega, 13-yard hookup. I don't know, Jerome. They're pulling a lot out of the playbook here, man.
Yeah, they are. And again, you know, that's a tribute to what you're seeing defensively for Harrisburg. And this was probably the best drive for Coatesville all day. I mean, and this is where they actually had a long, sustained drive. You know, Ortega hits the big ball here to Bryant. And then you saw this halfback pass that comes back, gets the quarterback out in the route, and Ortega has good hands and brings it in. So
yeah, it started at their own 5, and if they were backed up, it's a 95-yard drive, 13 plays, capped off with a 13-yard touchdown.
And I think Grace called it the heat and that heat had something to do with Harrisburg and their inability to get a break.
Yeah, they're going to have whistles. It's getting a little chippy out there right now.
Now, another thing you got to understand that Coatesville will get the ball back because they deferred, and they'll get the ball back against Harrisburg. So, again, Coatesville took command of this game, really took command of it when they scored just now. So Harrisburg has to clean up those mistakes, see if they can get some rhythm offensively and score the ball. Defensively, they wore down a little bit late. But if they can get fresh again, or as fresh as they can, they'll be able to come back out and try to exert themselves. But that offense has to develop some type of momentum coming out of halftime.
We'll have the ball 13 seconds here before halftime. Coming right up is our Jack Giambabo halftime report and our Highmark halftime stats. So stay tuned for that. Everson keeping the ball across the 40-yard line, picking up a lot of yards. I mean, he looks like he's going to be grabbed down in the backfield, and he's elusive enough that he finds a way, doesn't he, Drum? I mean, I'm impressed with his footwork and getting that ground damage that he's done in the first half. He has hurt Coatesville a bit.
Well, again, it's a bobbled snap. He has to. It's one of those situations where it becomes desperate, and he can pull a Houdini out of his hat when he's desperate. The problem is getting to that point. You would rather him do a planned run play than a play that blows up, and then he has to run trying to escape.
He might have one more play here at before half. He's got trips receivers, 4 actually to the right, the single receiver is left side. He's going to pump and tuck. Keep it across the 40. There's going to be holding flag down. So that'll be, if that goes against Harrisburg, that'll be 8 penalties here in the first half.
Yeah. And that's hard to even establish anything offensively when you're penalized that much, especially on offense.
Yeah, it's 8 penalties for 70 yards. I mean, man, oh, man.
And
that's going to be it. That's going to be it. We're right. Stay tuned. 23-6. We'll have Jack Giambabo halftime report coming up in our Highmark halftime stats right after these messages.
I can really buy local produce at Giant?
Yep, brought it in from our backyard. Well, not my backyard, but close.
Sweet.
Find out about our backyard at giantfoodstores.com/local.
Giant, the official grocery store of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Every day, we pride ourselves in what we do. Hard work is put into every pre-owned vehicle we put on the road. We make sure they are all safe and reliable for your peace of mind. Your real value comes from the Hoffman name and the people that stand behind it. So if you're in the market for a pre-owned vehicle, just call me, Ryan.
Do you want to answer that?
Nah, I'd never with a kid in the car.
It's okay. I'm not here. I'm there.
All across Pennsylvania, families are living their lives in their own homes. Not long ago, none of these families believed it possible. And then they discovered there was someone who could help. What was once only a dream is now a reality. Welcome home.
Welcome back. Coatesville on the road up 20-6 over Harrisburg Cougars. Harrisburg started to have a bit of a momentum shift there at the start of the second quarter, but when it comes said and done, Ortega, 95-yard drive, 13 plays, a 13-yard hookup from Young to him to go up. And it was a very effective drive there in that last 2 minutes for Coatesville.
Yeah, I mean, Coatesville mixed up a little bit of run, a little bit of pass. They were able to get Harrisburg a little gassed. That defense, you can tell, they were a little gassed on that play because up until that point, the defense have been doing very well for Harrisburg. Even though they were down, when you looked at the yardage they were allowing, they were actually doing a pretty good job. Harrisburg's main problem right now is mistakes, penalties. Every time that they have a good drive or a good play, they take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, sometimes 2 steps back. So I think right now, Coach Everett wants to definitely clean that up so that they can have a chance to sustain drives. Kane Everson right now is being Houdini. He's trying to do everything, and sometimes maybe a little too much. He has playmakers, but there are times when he has no choice. So as a bobble snap, he has to get up. As soon as he comes up, there's somebody in his face. So again, Harrisburg has to clean that up.
Well, I think one of the effective points when you talk, let's stay on the Harrisburg side, when you talked about Harrisburg, you talked about their defense. And they've not done that bad of a job. Right. They've got pursuit. They've been physical. Talk about what they're going to have to do to really shut down the Young running game. He's starting to get his legs moving in that second quarter.
Well, you have to get fluid in those guys, and sometimes you have to rely on depth. The guys that aren't used to playing, to give some of these guys a spell so that they can come back out and do what they need to do. But as you get further and further in the game, it's going to be harder and harder to tackle. And again, they're going to keep running the ball. Coatesville will do that. And you have a guy that is that talented in Young. So Harrisburg has to come and try to keep tackling, keep playing hard, but they need their offense to do something.
Well, let's take a look at our first half highlights, and we had plenty of them. Started off right away. Kane Everson was backed up his own 2-yard line, and Coatesville comes out with a safety. Got the ball back short field. Halfback pass. Bryant goes end zone to Miller for a touchdown. And one more time, they pull the Trickery out right away in this 30-plus yard hookup. And that was one of many. And then a bootleg. Next possession, bootleg. To Ortega, you'll see it again. It's just a great play call. 6 yards away, Ortega touchdown. That was his first. And Everson puts a drive together from 13 out. He will refuse to go down and scores a touchdown and puts Harrisburg on the board. And that was where the momentum shift was. It was at that point 13-6 that Everson does what he did right there. And the Cougar crowd started beginning to get back behind their team. And then this, Young to Ortega for 13 yards. They go out of the playbook. Jim Catapia, the offensive coordinator. One more time, Young hooks up to Ortega for a 13-yard touchdown. And that's where we stand at the half, 20-6. We'll take a break. There'll be more of the Jack Giambavo halftime report after these messages. Stay tuned.
At Pizza Hut, our original pan dough rises fresh every day, making it crispy on the outside, soft and chewy on the inside. And now you can get our original pan as part of the $6.99 any deal. That's 2 medium pizzas with any toppings, any crust, any specialty for just $6.99 each. Only at Pizza Hut.
Groff Tractor is your full-line equipment dealer representing Case Construction and many other leading brands. serving the total sales, rental, parts, and service needs of its customers. Groff Tractor paves the way for your projects from start to finish. With 11 locations, Groff Tractor is always close by your equipment needs. Groff also offers 24/7 field service. Groff Tractor is your #1 source for everything under construction.
I am anything I want to be.
I am one of the faces of Commonwealth Charter Academy.
I go to school online, tuition free.
I learn best at my own pace.
My own pace.
I see school differently. I learn from anywhere.
From anywhere. I'm an artist.
I'm a musician.
I am an athlete. I am anything I want to be. And I won't stop learning. I am CCA.
Join me today at ccaeducate.me.
All across Pennsylvania, families are living their lives in their own homes. Not long ago, none of these families believed it possible. And then they discovered there was someone who could help. What was once only a dream is now a reality. Welcome home.
Hit the road with Jack.
Hit the road with the Jack Giambalvo family of dealerships. 8 great franchises in 3 locations. Buick, GMC, Hyundai, Mazda, and Stettler Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. A Giambalvo family dealership. Over $20 million in new and pre-owned inventory with unbeatable service after the sale, too. There's a reason the Giambalvo family's been a part of your community for decades. Hit the road with Jack and find out why. The Jack Giambalvo family of dealerships. 3 great locations. Online at giambalvo.com.
Let's go down to welcome back to Harrisburg here at halftime, 20-6. And when we look at that momentum shift that we talked about for the Cougars on the Kane Everson 13-yard touchdown, it just looked like things were going to switch around and change around. But when you got an Ortega-led offense, I mean, the kid he has a way to balance things out, even with some of the penalties that started kicking up. Now, Harrisburg had 8 penalties in that first half. And Coatesville had 5. So the game started getting sloppy, but when they needed to, he puts a nice effective drive at the end of the second quarter at the close before half and takes him 95 yards, 13-play drive, 13-yard hookup from Young. 23-6 is where we are here at halftime. Jerome Falch, go inside the locker room. Let's say on the Harrisburg side first. One thing you're telling your guys right away.
I mean, I'm telling them we're down 23-6. You're still in the game. You still have a whole half to play. We have to clean up the game. I mean, in order to have a shot, we have to clean up. Try to find and look at what things work within the offense and then play and then do those things. For Coatesville, just do what you're doing. You don't want to get sloppy, though. And in the second quarter, Coatesville got a little sloppy as well. So they want to tighten some things up as well.
All right, we'll take an opportunity to kick it down to Grace Grill on the field. She has Penn Live's Brian Linder. Grace?
Thanks, Todd. I'm right. I'm here with Brian Linder, from sports editor from Penn Live. You guys cover these teams all year long. I know this is game 1 for both of these teams, but what are you seeing today on the field?
Harrisburg has athletes. I saw them play in the Big 33-707 against Imhotep, matched up well. Coatesville has special athletes. Dupree Bryant, it feels like they can throw the ball to that kid anytime they want to. I don't know what his vertical is. I think he's like 5'9", but have you seen it? The kid's jumping up. He could probably dunk from the goal post. You know what I'm saying? They have special athletes.
Now on the Harrisburg side, they have transfer Kane Everson, and he's an athlete. We see it on the floor. He's running. He's playing QB. What do you like from that Harrisburg game, especially from him and his athleticism?
They have those athletes, but they have to get consistency. They need to win the battle up front. And I don't think they're winning it consistently right now. They're not really getting a running game going, and we haven't seen much in the way of passing game. And so they got to find a way to get those speed guys, the Kayvon Hopes, Dante Kents, and kids like that involved, and get them out there. And I don't know what's going on with Andre White. He took a big hit there, and I don't know. He looked a little shaken over here, and they had him out at wide receiver, which is pretty interesting. So I think they got to find some consistency. They got to win that battle up front and get those speed guys out in space somehow.
Now they're not out of this. Harrisburg is not out of this. So prediction for this second half.
Well, if they can come in, they've done a good job of slowing Aaron Young. Okay, if they can come in, keep him slowed down, maybe limit some of those big plays. They called a break there. They probably need a break or two. If they can get a break or two, then we're looking at maybe a good ball game.
All right, thanks, Brian. Guys, back to you in the booth.
Thank you, Grace and Brian Linder from PennLive.com. 23-6 here at half. We'll take it a break, and we'll be right back with more of our Jack Giambavo halftime report.
Living proof of the difference you can make when you're all for health. Highmark Blue Shield.
I can really buy local produce at Giant?
Yep, brought it in from our backyard. Well, not my backyard, but close.
Sweet.
Find out about our backyard at giantfoodstores.com/local. Giant, the official grocery store of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Hit the road with Jack.
Hit the road with the Jack Giambavo family of dealerships. 8 great franchises in 3 locations. Buick, GMC, Hyundai, Mazda, and Stettler Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. A Giambavo family dealership. Over 20 million in new and pre-owned inventory with unbeatable service after the sale, too. There's a reason the Giambavo family's been a part of your community for decades. Hit the road with Jack and find out why. The Jack Giambavo family of dealerships. 3 great locations. Online at giambavo.com.
All across Pennsylvania, families are living their lives in their own homes. Not long ago, none of these families believed it possible. And then they discovered there was someone who could help. What was once only a dream is now a reality. Welcome home.
My name is Monica. I'm an elementary school teacher.
My name is Mitch. I'm a graphic design specialist.
We have 4 children. Currently we have life and auto insurance with Erie. Our agent is helping us to move our homeowners insurance to Erie as well.
They've always been a good company and good customer service. If anything ever happens to me, my family will be protected.
Call Logan or Warren Stumpf at Capital Region Insurance Agency, 717-731-1142.
Every day, we pride ourselves in what we do. Hard work is put into every pre-owned vehicle we put on the road. We make sure they are all safe and reliable for your peace of mind. Your real value comes from the Hoffman name and the people that stand behind it. So if you're in the market for a pre-owned vehicle, just call me, Ryan.
Well, welcome back to our Jack Giambavo halftime report. 23-6 Coatesville, Harrisburg. Second half action coming up here shortly, but if you're a Harrisburg Cougar fan, you're happy about what you saw. A couple ways, I think. I think the score is not an indication of how hard your defense is playing. They're playing very well. A lot of trickery on the other side. Coatesville has gone into that playbook a little bit with these halfback passes. But I also have liked things that Everson has done with his feet, Jerome.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're a Harrisburg fan and you're used to what you've seen the past 2 years, you're not going to be very happy. I mean, right now, you know, one of the things that's missing from Harrisburg offensively is their ability of big plays. And again, a lot of mistakes, a lot of penalties. You're not going to be happy with that. Defensively, defense is pretty much what we thought they were. They do have a decent defense, and that defense will carry them throughout the year. The key is, can that offense catch up? Kane does some good things with his legs. You want to see him do a little bit more with his arm. Get the ball into the playmakers' hands and let them do what they need to do. As you heard Brian talk about it, they have playmakers. They have to establish a rhythm and get the ball into them. You know, they've been at 7-on-7 against Emotep, and they did very well. So you saw those guys with the speed to be able to do what they need to do. They have to get the ball. They have to be able to keep the ball in order to give them the ball. So that's where they are.
And I think on really both sides of the ball, we've had a hard-fought game. Coatesville-wise, you know, the Cougars really shut down Aaron Young there and all the way up to the mid-range of the second quarter. And then he started getting going again. Holes started opening up a little bit more. I think you saw that defensive line of Harrisburg get a little bit tired. When he found holes, he's very effective. the Penn State recruit commit.
And that's what you get with a running back. A feature back will do that. You don't want to not give him the ball. He's a staple to your offense. The more you give them the ball, the stronger they get, and that's what you want. When you get into the third and fourth quarter, those 5-yard carries are going to become 10-yard carries. Those 10-yard carries are going to become 20. So that's what you want. You want to give it and wait for him. It's coming. He has a potential to bust one, and if you get that Harrisburg defense on the field longer periods of time, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Well, Coatesville will have the ball here to start the actual second half. They deferred in the first half. We'll take a break. We'll be right back with more coming up after these messages.
I am anything I want to be.
I am one of the faces of Commonwealth Charter Academy.
I go to school online, tuition free.
I learn best at my own pace.
My own pace.
I see school differently. I learn from anywhere.
From anywhere. I'm an artist.
I'm a musician.
I am an athlete. I am anything I want to be. And I won't stop learning. I am CCA.
Join me today at ccaeducate.me.
What were you thinking, Chuck?
You're not 18 anymore.
Is my leg supposed to bend like that?
6 months on the heating pad. I hope it was worth it.
I wonder if cartilage grows back.
Yep, that's gonna break right in half.
This looks so easy on TV.
All across Pennsylvania, families are living their lives in their own homes. Not long ago, none of these families believed it possible. And then they discovered there was someone who could help. What was once only a dream is now a reality. Welcome home.
Welcome back to a beautiful day. Let's go into our first half stats. Total yards, Coatesville 176, 138 on the Harrisburg side. Penalties, I'd mark that right there, Jerome. I mean, 8 for 70. That's going to really hurt you.
Yeah. I mean, what the stats tell you, it's been a defensive battle. Most of that 176 for Coatesville came off of one drive. Up until that point, they weren't doing that much of anything, with the exception of the short field and capitalizing on it when they had the chance. Rushing yards, that 97 for Harrisburg, that's pretty much Kane Everson trying to do, his Houdini act, getting out of things and really doing his part to try to do something with this offense. So the penalties, definitely big. Harrisburg 8 for 70 and Coatesville 5 for 55. So both teams have to clean that up. And then the passing yards, Ortega hit a couple of big ones deep. And Kane really hasn't been able to get going in the passing game as of yet.
Yeah, and you have a 35-yard hookup and a 13-yard hookup on a halfback pass. So Red Raiders in control, 23-6 right now. There's helmets that I'm saying looking very Ole Miss-like.
Mm-hmm.
I like the mimicking of the SEC teams. I like that when I see those uniforms. Harrisburg Cougars come out sporting the brand new uniform with the Cougar claw on the side, which means a couple number changes through the years. Andre White wearing 32 through the years, now wearing number 1. Has been a little bit of an adjustment for me. I'm used to seeing him in that number. But let's talk a little bit about him and what I thought I saw in the first half. He really plays hard every play.
Well, he was definitely active. I think the one thing that did happen is he got dinged up. He had to come out a couple of plays. So, again, we don't know, as a player, you don't know how much that affects you throughout. But he's been active. He's been playing sideline to sideline, and he's been man in the middle. And he's part of the reason why there hasn't been so much more of a running game for Aaron Young against Harrisburg. He's been doing a very good job, and when he gets to the point of attack, he makes the play. So, again, he needs, the team as a whole, that defense as a whole is doing pretty good. They have to, they had to go in the locker room, get some understanding of what they know that's coming, which is going to be a heavy dose of Young, regroup, re-energize, and then come back out and try to establish their will against this powerful offense.
Well, and I also just want to give a defensive shout-out on the other side to Nick Thompson in Coatesville, 6'195" senior linebacker, fullback linebacker. He is I felt like he has been a playmaking difference on that defensive side for Coatesville. So those are our defensive shout-outs. Secondary-wise, I think that, again, I feel like the coverage has been pretty good. They've been fooled a few times. Again, Bernie in that backside defensive back for the Cougars. But they've done a good job today. But we'll see the second half, what's in store. Coatesville will have the ball. Start the second half. We'll be underway here just shortly. You see it, take a look at Coatesville. They traveled very well. I mean, we had them at Cumberland Valley last year. They were in command of that game. Cumberland Valley came back to beat them last year. But as we know, Coatesville went on to the 6A championship, lost 53-49 to St. Joe's Prep, and had opportunities to win that one. Really surprised a lot of people throughout the state. But no surprise in Ricky Ortega with 450 yards and 6 touchdowns, and now over 3,000 yards last year and 45 touchdowns. So we're talking about record-setting, state record-setting numbers.
Yeah, and that was the state semis.
Or semis.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, they could have easily been in the state championship game. So you know they played very well, and to do all that with a sophomore quarterback that plays well above his years is extremely impressive. So again, this Coatesville team is built for the postseason, and they're very good and very tough out. So for Harrisburg, this is a good litmus test for them and what they need to do to try to get back to where they were.
Frankie De Los Santos will take the ball across the 30-yard line, and Coatesville will have the ball, and we're starting our second half action.
So again, if you're Harrisburg's defense, you get a chance to come right on the field defensively and try to stop this team. We do know that Coatesville is not afraid to do trick plays, so they're going to try different things. They've tried 3 trick plays, and they were 2 for 3 on those trick plays. So they came out of the box, 1 on a 4th down, and get a touchdown out of it. So they're not afraid play calling to do what they need to do.
We'll take it to Young. Young across the 35, 36. And Young's now using his wear down the defensive strategy.
And Saquon Carter-Barton on the tackle. He's the other linebacker for Harrisburg to come up and try to make a play, or defensive line, sorry about that. And they're going to need those guys making plays right now, because we're going to get a heavy dose of Young. And then once you do that, that play action opens up for Ortega downfield.
Ball on the 38, 2nd and 2 for Ortega and the squad. Ortega's pass is complete. No, it'll be incomplete, excuse me. I think he was out of bounds. And his intended receiver was Bryant. It'll be 3rd and 2 for Coatesville. Just look at Jim Catafio and the offensive coordinator of Coatesville. Twin receivers to the left of Ortega. Ortega looking. Oh, his receiver did not turn around. That was a dangerous pass. Could have been picked off.
And I actually wouldn't be surprised if Ortega was thinking the same play, because right now, Bernie, who's covered on that outside, was playing way off. So right now, that'll set up 4th down for Harrisburg. And again, they did a good job on defense to get Coatesville off 3 and out on their first drive if they punt it.
So they're bringing Nick Thompson on to punt it. Back to receive the punt is Dante Kent for Harrisburg. And there's whistles. Harrisburg shows that that's going to be movement against Coatesville. That'll be delayed again. It's their 6th penalty of the game. Can't wait back deep. We'll try it again. Pressure by Elijah Scott. Had a chance to maybe block that punt. It's going to take a Coatesville roll and cross 20 down about 18-yard line. So Harrisburg will have the ball. They got the stop they wanted. Really, this drive, how important coming out of the second half, start the third quarter, how important this drive is to sustain something here. Keep your defense off the field if you're Harrisburg Cougars.
And I tell you what, Andre White is not looking good. He's gimping around out there. The defense was able to hold even with him like that. But I tell you what, he looks like he's getting tended to now. And if he's not a part of that defense, that will be big moving forward. So I know they want to make sure they try to get him going.
Ball be spotted on the 19-yard line for Harrisburg. Low snap. Plant on the carry.
And Plant just banging into his own guys. You have guys deep in the secondary or deep in the backfield. Not much they're able to do.
He'll lose one. Kane Everson with the option to pitch, shuffle pass. Good play call. And flags are down. Maybe a face mask from Coatesville. Let's go down to Grace Grill on the sideline. Grace, it appeared that it possibly was a face mask. Your thoughts?
Possibly could be face mask, Todd. The other thing is we have Andre White down here, still not looking good, a little banged up on the sidelines, but hopefully he can make a comeback back in.
Thanks, Grace. Yep.
So again, Todd, this is a big opportunity for Harrisburg. Your defense comes in out of the half because Coatesville deferred. So the defense comes out. They get a 3 and out. Your defense gives you a 3 and out. Your best defensive player is banged up right now. And you get the ball, you get a penalty, you have an opportunity to do something with this field position. You now have gotten some decent field position as a result of the penalty. Now it's about turning this into something if you're Harrisburg.
Ball on the 41-yard line. Everson had somebody. Had to get out, crossing the 50-yard line, crossed the 40, down the 30. Crossed the 10 and knocked out of bounds around the 5-yard line. Everson makes the call.
And I'll tell you, the interesting thing is he had a receiver wide open, and he tucked it. And again, he could have done something else. But the one thing you saw about Kane Everson just then is when he turns it on, he has a second gear that we really weren't able to see today until just now. I mean, he almost broke that for a huge gain. Well, it was a huge gain, but he almost broke that for 6.
50-yard pickup for Everson. Shotgun formation, single left, single right. He's going to put Plant in motion. Give back to Plant. Plant dodges one, crosses the 10-yard line. Looks like he's going to be wrestled down and stays out of his feet somehow. Picks at least, gets a yard out of it.
He ran into your guy, Nicholas Thompson, who's been playing really well. But again, this is an opportunity for Harrisburg to really get something out of this. You know, a couple of breaks went their way. Kane breaks off a huge run. You're in the red zone, and an opportunity to put points on the board and cut into this lead.
The ball will be on the 7-yard line of Coatesville. Harrisburg knocking on the door. 5-play drive. Trips the receiver to the left. Deucer to the right. Got a carries in at the kind of wildcat position.
I think they brought in a different quarterback.
They did. They brought in McNeil came in at quarterback position, and I'm not sure. Kind of wildcatting him a bit. John McNeil in at the quarterback position.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think they're wildcatting him. I think he's the quarterback right now. As the backup, he's playing the position, and Kane is out at the moment, getting tended to.
McNeil's going to go to the air. He's going to overthrow it and be incomplete. They wasted no time.
Yeah, Kane's getting tended to right now. Don't know what's going on with him, but he's getting tended to. It looks like they're looking at his hand, and we'll see if we can get him back on the field. But also, we know that Kane can play different positions as well, so they can throw him in and put him at receiver if they needed to.
Harrisburg's going to take a timeout. We'll have more football action after these messages. Stay tuned.
Hit the road with Jack.
Hit the road with the Judgy and Bubba family of dealerships. 8 great franchises in 3 locations. Buick, GMC, Hyundai, Mazda, and Stettler Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. A G and Bubba family dealership. Over $20 million in new and pre-owned inventory with unbeatable service after the sale, too. There's a reason the G and Bubba family's been a part of your community for decades. Hit the road with Jack and find out why. The Jack G and Bubba family of dealerships. 3 great locations. Online at gmbubba.com.
I can really buy local produce at Giant?
Yep, brought it in from our backyard. Well, not my backyard, but close.
Sweet. Find out about our backyard at giantfoodstores.com/local.
Giant, the official grocery store of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Good play of this drive. McNeil in at quarterback. 4th and 4. It's going to be intercepted. McNeil. And the linebacker, Nick Thompson, comes up with the play to stop Harrisburg's drive. McNeil in. I didn't know where the receiver was, but the ball was incomplete. Or, excuse me, intercepted.
And that's when you bring in your backup, and you know he's doing the best that he can. Fires it in. Linebacker sitting right in the crease is able to pick that ball off. So now Harrisburg had a great opportunity, good drive. Kane Everson doing what he needs to do to get his team in good position. Comes out, and then you have the turnover.
Tiga will take over. Ball will be on the 6-yard line for Coatesville. Tiga gives to Young. Young bounces outside, crosses the 10-yard line. He'll pick up 6 on the play. Man, I tell you, I feel bad. Kane Everson went down. They were driving. You're covering that Calvin Everett staff. I mean, boy, breaks sometimes have just not gone the way and direction for Harrisburg. Young across the 15 and 20. Young starting to do his thing now, getting into the running groove.
Yeah, and that's what for offensive linemen, that's exactly what you want. You want your guys to come in and just exert their will on the defense. And those big guys up front, they want that opportunity. So for Harrisburg, you have to do your part. And again, Andre White is on the field, but he's definitely not 100%. So that may be something that Coatesville, I'm guaranteeing you, they're going to look at that. We'll see. Keep an eye on him and see how effective he can be in the middle of that defense.
Take it gives to Young. Young not really anywhere to go with it. Great pursuit on the Harrisburg defense. Jai Burney came up to make the initial stop. Young will be stopped at a loss. Let's go down to Grace Grill on the field. Grace?
Mentioned that Andre White is back in that game, but he is favoring that left leg. I'm not sure if that's cramps or something else going on, but he's pushing through.
As expected, Andre back on the field. I hope everything's okay.
Well, I think now, he's in the middle of the defense, so he runs that defense, and I saw him in pursuit. He's not his typical self, but you can tell if he needs to mix it up, he's going to.
Ortega on the keeper across the 20. Pick up 5 on the play.
And Jai Burney, one of those short, stocky linebackers for Harrisburg. Sometimes you don't see him coming through like a small running back. He's like that on defense.
He's always putting his head around the ball. I tell you what, he does a great job. We've called his name out in the last couple of years. He's a senior. He's 210 pounds, 5'7". So it'll be 3rd and 10 for Coatesville. Take a roll to his left. Looking downfield. And it's wide open
Total blown coverage by Harrisburg.
Coverage is blown, and Miller will step into the end zone for a touchdown, Coatesville. There was no one at all in the secondary. Beautiful play. 79-yard touchdown pass.
So it's hard to see what happened. It just looks like that Harrisburg secondary just lost him. They didn't know where he was. He was wide open in the middle of the defense, and he was just lost.
And you said it right away, just blown coverage.
Yeah, I think the defensive line and the linebackers, they turn around and they're like, what? Seeing this guy, sprinting down the seam by himself with no one around him. It's just like, just blown coverage by Harrisburg. And unfortunately, you see that swing, 14-point swing, inability to score on one end, and you give up a big touchdown on the other.
Hold is good. Kick is up. And it's good. 79 yards Artiga to Dupree Bryant for the touchdown. We'll have more after these messages.
Groff Tractor is your full-line equipment dealer representing Case Construction and many other leading brands, serving the total sales, rental, parts, and service needs of its customers. Groff Tractor paves the way for your projects from start to finish. With 11 locations, Groff Tractor is always close by your equipment needs. Groff also offers 24/7 field service. Groff Tractor is your #1 source for everything under construction.
Well, welcome back. 30-6. Let's take another look at the drive. It starts with this, an interception by Nick Thompson.
They want to rake to him, too.
And then just got a little dose of, this is good defense, good pursuit on Harrisburg, but it didn't stop there. Right here, Ortega rolling to his left, blown coverage down the field to Miller. 79-yard hookup, and man, I thought I saw one of the D-backs slip and fall, and that was the difference.
Yeah, it was hard. I didn't know what happened. It just seemed, at that point, there was no one in the middle of the field. So Coatesville was able to get a big play as a result.
Harrisburg looking to find something here. Hope on the return. They'll cross over to, well, the ball will be spotted on the 26-yard line for Harrisburg, and they've got to get some things going here.
Yeah, I mean, you're down 30-6. This game is starting to get away from you a little bit. You came out at half for Harrisburg. They had actually a good game plan, came out defensively. They got a 3-and-out, get a big run by Kane Everson, opportunity to go in. You're in within the 10-yard line, and then a pick. Kane comes out, and then you get an interception, and, now he's back in the game. So it's just one of those games where things just happen to take its course. And you have to try to settle down and try to come up with something.
Everson's back in the game now, replacing McNeil. Marion Wickball will be on the passing. And then it looks like Kane Everson's going down again. I think he's just cramping. I think he's cramping in the calf is what it is. It's a crab camp. And you know how those feel.
Yeah, they don't feel too good. That's for sure.
Well, Advanced Hoops boasts the largest basketball training program in Central PA. Take your game to the next level with top trainers Duke McCamey, Gerald Jarman, and Charlie Fortney. Shooting, post, and point guard classes are all being offered this fall. Register today to reserve your spot at advancedhoops.com. Well, we'll have a player down. We're going to take a break. It looks like Kane Everson was cramping up, so we're hoping that he's okay. We'll We'll go to break, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Every day, we pride ourselves in what we do. Hard work is put into every pre-owned vehicle we put on the road. We make sure they are all safe and reliable for your peace of mind. Your real value comes from the Hoffman name and the people that stand behind it. So if you're in the market for a pre-owned vehicle, just call me, Ryan.
Take another look at the injury to Kane Everson. It looks like he planted after he dropped it off, and he planted and grabbed his knee. John McNeil is going to come back on. Now he's walking off, but he's walking, as you can see, he's just, you can tell
very
he's in
gingerly.
pain. He's walking gingerly as he's coming off. We hope that kid's all right. He's a good young man.
And that's the thing.
Player.
You know, he's had a very physical game. I mean, he's done a lot of damage to this Coatesville defense by himself. But again, that was one of those situations. He had a rush in his face. He planted, and something happened. So we're hoping he's okay and can get back in. Now the ball turns to the youngin to do his thing, McNeil.
The give was to plant right side. Actually, correction on that. It was Purdy on the carry. It'll be 3rd and 9. Ball be spotted 28-yard line for Harrisburg. John McNeil, shotgun formation. Long count. Neal steps up in a pocket. Not much there. Boy, the defense is doing a great job in Coatesville.
Yeah, they're just
to make that initial tackle is Eric Kirk.
Yeah, there's just no time. He can't even step into the throw. And as you can see, Coatesville's coming with pressure from the outside. So right now, Harrisburg got some guys banged up, and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do here to try to figure, to get something going offensively. The game is getting out of hand at this point.
So the punting crew will come on. And that opponent take a Harrisburg roll and still moving. Crossing the 30 and big touchdown 28. We're going to go down to Grace Grill. She's with our Harrisburg Cougar cheerleaders.
All right, guys, I am with the pride and joy of Harrisburg High. These cheerleaders are at every sports event, and they are the best cheerleaders you will find around.
Thank you, Grace. Grace with the Cougars, the mid-pin student section. Today she is the mid-pin cheerleading sections. Mid-pin Bank sponsor to this. We really appreciate that. And there's the Harrisburg Cougars cheering their team on, hoping to find something here in the second half. Ortega, shotgun formation. Throws to Hall right side, crosses the 40-yard line. There he'll step out of bounds.
And Andre White is not in the game, so he is out at the moment.
When you talk injuries too, on top of everything, a lot of changes on that Harrisburg side. But man, I tell you, they've had their share today.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, injuries they're part of the game, and again, and now we have another Cougar that's down. It's been a physical game. It's hot. This Coatesville team is a bear to play. I mean, but there's no doubt that this Cougar team definitely matches up. But I think, as we've heard, that this Coatesville team is special, and they feel that, they had an opportunity at a state championship last year, and they didn't get there in a shootout. And they're looking at that. They're looking at getting themselves back, and whoever's in their way to get to that road, they're going to mow them down, and that's their plan.
That was Dante Kent kind of walking off gingerly there, too, off the field for the Harrisburg Cougars. It's hard to tell what that is, but I tell you, he could be cramping up too.
Well, no, good sign for Harrisburg, and I don't know what this means. Kane Everson is up, standing up, and I think they're still definitely evaluating where he is. But again, Harrisburg they're dealing with some injury bugs today as we get into the later parts of this game. Down 30-6 with 4:14 left in the third quarter. So again, they have to try to find something to build off of on. And again, when we've seen games lopsided, we always talk about trying to find something to build off on. Don't necessarily worry about winning and losing. You worry about establishing something at this point. Whether it's defensively, offensively, just trying to put together a complete drive or a complete series on defense.
Give to Young left side. Well, Young's starting to get into his groove, finding his legs and finding the holes as well.
And with White out, out of that middle of that defense, that definitely changes the defense for Harrisburg. So again, you're going to see a heavy dose of White coming and continue to come throughout the rest of this game.
He's shifty, and I tell you, in the first half, he struggled finding the yards. Now he's finding holes. That offensive line of Coatesville, got to get him a hats off. They're doing a great job opening holes. He only needs a crease. Right side, Young, wrestled down by the whole left side of the Harrisburg Cougars.
Well, you look at both teams, and again, they both have really good conferences that they'll be playing in. A nice out-of-conference game. Harrisburg has to make sure that these guys can come back, these injured guys can come back, because then they have the Commonwealth to deal with. And we've seen. I mean, we saw what happened with Cumberland Valley last night. They went down big to Bishop McDevitt. You got State College that's up north, and I'll tell you what, they are going to be formidable in the Commonwealth Conference for this league. So you got Central Dauphin who really handled Wilson last night as well. So there's a lot of teams in the Commonwealth that'll be coming. You got Altoona joining the Commonwealth as an associate member. They'll be here this year as well. So from top to bottom, this is a good tune-up. But you have some teams coming in, and you're going that you have to be ready for, and hopefully these injuries will be okay, so you can have those guys.
Bar none, it's one of the toughest conferences in high school football in the state of Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth. We've seen it. It's any given day that you cannot take anyone lightly. Right side, Young. Grinding away. Take a look at it now. He's hard to bring down. He's squared away. And we see what Penn State liked in him when he committed. And I wonder, when is there a play action and take a chance over the top and put the nail in the coffin?
Oh, it's coming. Yeah,
you almost can feel it, Jerome.
You can feel it. I mean, at this point, they're in total command right now, and now they got their big running back, Young, running the ball.
Give it to Young again. It's a good stop on the defensive side. Coming up, Tony Patterson making a great hit, the senior, 6'2", 260. He laid the wood on that play.
And that's what they need. They need guys. I mean, sometimes it's about pride, man. It's about coming up. This guy, he's Penn State is, wants him. He's a good back. Come and lay the wood on him.
We also had Michigan State as well offers. Ortega looking downfield. Connects to Damir Miller.
And that's pitch and catch right there. There's no pressure from the Harrisburg defense. So, again, Ortega, look at Ortega. Look how much time he has back there. There's nobody coming in his face. That's 7-on-7 right
That's
there.
What that is.
That's 7-on-7.
That's a great analogy of what it looks like. It's pitch, catch, throw.
Got to get pressure on him.
Yeah, if you don't put pressure on Ortega, he'll stand back there and he's got a great arm and he makes great reads. Trips left for Ortega. Ortega.
7-on-7.
Pass is connected, and it's a touchdown, Coatesville, just like that. Brian Yates, this is Frankie Sherman. 8-play drive, connects to Sherman. 20-yard touchdown. Ortega to Sherman. And it just kind of made it look easy there.
Yeah, it definitely made it look easy. Again, you know, there's no pressure in his face, no guys with their hands up. So you just throw the ball, and again, they advance the lead. Now they're up 36, almost 37, or if they get the extra point, 37-6. And again, this game has gotten out of hand for Harrisburg. And again, it's about finding something to build on, to begin to prepare for the next game. You know what I mean? So.
I am anything I want to be.
I am one of the faces of Commonwealth Charter Academy.
I go to school online, tuition free.
I learn best at my own pace.
My own pace.
I see school differently. I learn from anywhere.
From anywhere. I'm an artist.
I'm a musician.
I am an athlete. I am anything I want to be. And I won't stop learning. I am CCA.
Join me today at ccaeducate.me.
Well, 37-6, it's all Coatesville now. There was some momentum that shifted the Harrisburg way early second quarter, but Coatesville just now making things look pretty easy. And you know, you're starting to see some of the crowd dissipate a bit here on the Cougar side. But right here, it's plays like this, setting up Ortega looking downfield, just as you said, Drum, kind of looking very like 7-on-7. And right there, it's connected. Ortega, 20 yards out, connects to Frankie Sherman. He spread the ball around pretty well today, you know, and he's really done a good job hitting different receivers. Let's go down to Grace Grill on the sideline. He's on the Harrisburg bench side.
That's right, guys, down here on the Harrisburg side, and as you guys touched on, I mean, momentum was gonna be a huge thing in this game. Harrisburg started to get it back earlier on in this game, but as I'm standing down here now, you can see the morale just shift. Not that they've given up, but you can definitely tell that, you know, with some players out and injuries, that it's definitely gotten to this Harrisburg team.
Thank you, Grace. Harrisburg just not accustomed to be on this side of the ball, this side of the coin,
right?
In a football game, it's just not something we've called before for them, and you know, you can just kind of see that here a little bit. But I give credit to both teams. What a way to start off your season! You know, you come in and start playing somebody that hasn't had tradition. That's going to set up a nice opportunity. Dante Kent crossing over the 40 to 35 yard line, and Harrisburg will have good field position.
Yeah, and I think the big thing for Harrisburg, again, is to try in this drive. Let's try to focus on putting together some first downs. You got good field position. Put yourself in the best opportunity to score. You have a young quarterback still in the game. You see that Kane Everson is up. He's walking around. He's trying to get back into the game. I think they're looking at his situation. We don't know what's going on with him as far as injury-wise. He came off the field. But right now, you know, you have a young quarterback in the game, so you have to try to do something to establish yourself. On the other side, you may start to see Coatesville go to some backups. You're up 37-6. At this point, you're trying to get ready for your next game next week as well.
John McNeil in shotgun formation is going to roll to his left. He'll overthrow his intended receiver. It'll be incomplete. I'm excited about next week's matchup. Cumberland Valley goes on the road to Central York. Ought to be a great one. Cumberland Valley coming off a loss to Bishop McDevitt. Bit of a surprise in terms of score, I thought, last night.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, many have said that, but looking at Bishop McDevitt, I think this is the year. They've reloaded, and we know that they can field a very talented team. So I think that's what you got. You got a very talented team, and we still don't know what Cumberland Valley has. I mean, we know what they've been. We don't know what they have yet, and I think that's what it showed. You know, you get a big play team like Bishop McDevitt, they get up on you early, and then it changes the complexity of the game. And remember, Cumberland Valley runs a wing T offense. A wing T offense is not necessarily, the strength of that offense is not coming back from large deficits.
Yeah.
You know, it's not hugely big play when it comes to that, and it takes you out of your comfort zone a little bit. So that score may tell that tale, but it still will be interesting to see. And just because one game happened, it doesn't define what the season could be for that team or even Harrisburg here.
McNeil's pass is complete to Gant. Let's see if Harrisburg can put something on the board here. Gant, good ball by McNeil delivered to Gant. Again, Kane Everson went out with what appeared to be a knee. He's standing over on the sideline now with his helmet off, but I don't know if he's not good to go back. We know Andre White is hurting too and hasn't been able to play many third quarter.
And maybe the idea is if both of these guys aren't terribly hurt bad, with the game being the way it is does it behoove you to keep them in? You know what I mean? At this point,
exactly.
You have to get them ready for the Mid-Penn Commonwealth. So that could be a part of it. Again, we don't know all the specifics. We just hope that both of those players are okay and they're able to come back.
So Coatesville will take over on downs. Ortega's shotgun formation. He trips to the right. Single receiver to his left. Give is to Young. Young left side. And that's going to be the end of the third quarter. We're in the fourth quarter, 37-6. We'll have more football action after these messages. Stay tuned.
What were you thinking, Chuck?
You're not 18 anymore.
Is my leg supposed to bend like that?
6 months on the heating pad. I hope it was worth it.
I wonder if cartilage grows back.
Yep, that's gonna break right in half.
This looks so easy on TV.
All across Pennsylvania, families are living their lives in their own homes. Not long ago, none of these families believed it possible. And then they discovered there was someone who could help. What was once only a dream is now a reality. Welcome home.
Hit the road with Jack.
Hit the road with the Giambava family of dealerships. 8 great franchises in 3 locations. Buick, GMC, Hyundai, Mazda, and Stettler Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. A Giambava family dealership. Over $20 million in new and pre-owned inventory with unbeatable service after the sale, too. There's a reason the Giambava family's been a part of your community for decades. Hit the road with Jack and find out why. The Jack Giambava family of dealerships. 3 great locations. Online at giambava.com.
Well, welcome back. Fourth quarter action, the start of the fourth quarter. Coatesville will have the ball on the 29-yard line. Ortega, will keep it himself, the left side.
And again, will Coatesville continue to play their starters, or will they begin to bring some backups in the game?
Well, we'll have officials timeout here. It'll be a punting situation for Coatesville. Harrisburg will get the ball back. The band plays on is really the thought of the day for the Harrisburg Cougars. Just trying to we'll get the ball back, maybe trying to find some positives in the game on. That's where you are as your coaching staff right now. You just talked about that was a bad punt, so they're going to get good field position.
And it might have been tipped.
Drum, it's probably a time where you start seeing some different kids getting opportunities next up kind of thing. High School Sports Live is proud to partner with Mazzetti and Sullivan, a provider of substance use and mental health counseling services for teens and adults at 4 convenient locations across Central PA since 1983. Visit them at MazzettiandSullivan.com or call 1-800-809-2925. That's Mazzetti and Sullivan. We listen, we help. Sorry, Jerome. You know, when we talked about other guys stepping up, you might see some other guys like John McNeil get an opportunity here now. If you're any high school football team, you have to have 2 guys ready at that quarterback position at all times.
I mean, I think it's just football in general.
In general,
I mean, if a guy goes down, you got to have somebody ready to go. And again, that's not easy to do at the high school level. It's develop 2 quarterbacks, and to be ready to play. But it's something you have to do. You have to find a way to do it. And a lot of that starts out in the early years of quarterback development. And when you have your program, that's what determines what your quarterback depth looks like. So you never know when you're going to need a backup to come in and be serviceable and do the job.
That was Plant on a 2-yard carry. Ball on the 30-yard line. McNeil setting up the screen. Fires it high to Plant. It's covered very well. Coatesville's been on that screen all day today. Coming up and make the tackle and enter the game is Derek Shegrives. He's a junior.
And again, this is just the first game of the season for both teams. So if you're Coatesville, you can't get too high. You came out against a good opponent and you did well. And if you're Harrisburg, you can't get too low from this because you went up against maybe one of the best teams in the state out of all classes, and you had moments within the game where you fared well, but this was a tall order for you too.
McNeil looking downfield. His intended receiver was Rynell Gant. That was broken up. Brown broke up the play on the defensive side. It'll be 4th down for Harrisburg. So you go in, you look at the game film, and I think one of the things, if you're Harrisburg Cougars, you talk about penalties early on. Those hurt. Those penalties hurt. And then I think if you are the Coatesville Red Raiders, you're looking at a few things. So, hey, what do we need to work on? I tell you what, offensively, they've done such a good job, but I don't know.
Well, I think they need to work on what happened in the second quarter for them. A lot of mistakes. They had their share of penalties there, so they didn't play a fully clean game. That's one of those situations where you leave the door open for a team to come back on you.
Right.
So I think they definitely want to clean that up. It hasn't been a perfect game. They want to get that running game going early. And again, Harrisburg's defense is a pretty good defense. So they had to get going. They finally started to get going. They got a couple of breaks as well. So and then with Harrisburg, it's about get this out of your mind, get this loss out of your mind, and get your healthy players back. You got to make sure you're healthy going into the Mid-Penn Commonwealth. See what things you did well. You got to cut down on the penalties, got to cut down on the mistakes. And if you can do those 2 things, you give your team a chance to get back to what they usually do, which is fill the scoreboard.
Well, McNeil's pass was incomplete to Kamir Day. Day's a junior, 165 pounds, 5'10". The ball was thrown pretty well. He dropped it at about the 5-6 yard line. And you wanted to see McNeil get something going there. He threw a pretty good ball.
But, I mean, he's young, man. He's out there like, okay, what do I do with this? You know what I mean? And he's in a big game against Coatesville. One of the best 6A programs in the state. And you have to finish the game. So,
sophomore year, imagine you're coming in, you're playing the 3rd-ranked team in 6A.
Yeah.
And he's
think about
a rifle on the ball. He did a great job. Good ball.
Ortega was a sophomore last year. So we saw what he could do. So, sophomore, hey, you can do it. You just got to come in and get some help from the players around you.
Coatesville will have the ball back on the 20. Excuse me, the 30. Take that back. Ortega to Jimmy Limper, and flags are down. Let's see what flag goes again. As the flag came, I did not see Jerome Wood. Wait till we get the official call here. It's going to be holding on Coatesville.
Let's see if we can see where the holding takes place. Right there, number 12. Looks like I think they're going to get him. Justin Shields on the outside.
Well, I think, you know, we talked about things you walk away with when you look at game film on Monday. Penalties on both sides. I think that's one of the first things you've got to try to get talking to. And you remember practices, penalties meant running a lot on Monday or Tuesday. We had this many penalties, we're going to run a lot of wind sprints. Ortega to Bryant. He and Bryant have had a good day together, haven't they?
Yeah, they definitely have. And again, that's going to be a formidable pairing for the entire season with Coatesville being able to get the ball out. And then they can play a very balanced attack, which makes them very dangerous.
Ball be on the 42-yard line, 1st and 10 for Ortega. Was Eric Kirk on the carry? He's a senior, and he's 6'2", 200 pounds. Big, strong kid.
Definitely. And then again, you know, you may start to see some backups coming in the game, and you want to get them that experience. I think that's important. You want to get them that experience so they can come in and you know, give you a little bit, because you never know when you're going to need those guys.
So the ball will be on the 44 for Coatesville. 2nd and 8. Trips receivers right, single receiver left. Henderson was on the stop. Let's take a look at this play again. Just to give left side.
You got to keep playing.
De Los Santos with the carry.
And looking at Coatesville's schedule, you know, they have this game in Harrisburg. Next week they go to their Middletown South is their next game. And then they play Cumberland Valley, a local team from here that they played last year in a really good game. They have Bishop Shahan coming in, and that's a big game at Bishop Shahan. Henderson, Bayard Russin, then Downingtown West, and then East, and then Avon Grove, and then Downingtown East at the end of the season. So again, they have a formidable schedule as well, and you know, they've come out of that division and been able to make some waves in the state scene for them. So battle tested, of course, and I think the idea of coming into the Mid-Penn and playing the Mid-Penn Commonwealth teams, especially some of the better teams in the Commonwealth, is a good thing for Coatesville. Gives them a good tune-up for their season, and I think for our Mid-Penn teams doing the same thing, it does that for them as well.
Elijah Scott is the Harrisburg Cougar that's down. We'll take a break. We'll be right back with more football after these messages.
I can really buy local produce at Giant?
Yep, brought it in from our backyard. Well, not my backyard, but close.
Sweet.
Find out about our backyard at giantfoodstores.com/local. Giant, the official grocery store of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Well, welcome back. It looks like we have a lot of cramping up going on in the field. I mean, this training staff for the Harrisburg Cougars, they've been extremely busy today, Jerome. I mean, they are like About every 2-3 plays, they were going out to the field, and look like majority of those injuries were due to cramping. So hydration, we talked about that even last night, this time of season. Well, really, any time. Hydration starts several days before the game. And our very own Archie Smith Jr. gave Grace Grill some great advice about hydration, and it's pickle juice. Pickle juice helps you out. So if you're out there, youngsters watching, pickle juice is a great thing to consider if you are cramping. There was a little miscommunication there between Ortega and Eric Kirk, who's getting some opportunities to carry the ball now to relieve Young.
And Harold O'Neal, the junior, comes in and makes the play.
Let's go down to Grace. Let's go down to Grace Grill. Grace, you seem to be hydrated today. Maybe that pickle juice advice last night from Archie Smith Jr. helped you out. But it does appear to be a lot of cramping going on down there on the field.
Yeah, a lot of cramping going on here. I'm not a fan of the pickle juice. I don't like. I was telling Archie, I said I don't even eat pickles. But I mean, hey, whatever works for you. But it definitely is hot down here, and hydration is so important. You'll hear any coach, any sports medicine person tell you about it. And you just hope that these guys in the future stay hydrated, because you don't want to get hurt.
There's you, Grace. McCafferty on the catch. Adam McCafferty getting an opportunity here. He's a sophomore. He's 5'8", 195. McCafferty catches Ortega's pass across the 30-yard line, and
again, it's, seeing, it looks like Coatesville will finally go to a different quarterback. They're bringing in number 6, Eddie Easterday, comes in at QB, and that'll probably be a day for Ortega, who's again had a really good game, protected the football, and just did a very good job orchestrating the offense for Coatesville.
Easterday's a senior coming in to relieve Ortega. Eric Kirk on the carry. It's good to see Easterday getting a little opportunity here as a senior. When you get this opportunity to retire early, it's kind of nice, isn't it, Jerome? I mean, you get a little break, you get 6-7 minutes off.
Yeah, and again,
Ortega.
The time for these guys in blowouts is important, because it really gives you the opportunity against a formidable opponent to really play the game, and it sets you up for if you have to come in or the following year when you become the man. So this is big for you to come in.
Again is Eric Kirk.
And good tackle by Levy coming up and laying the boom a little bit. So you see these guys aren't giving up.
It'll be 2nd and 7 with 4:51 to play here in the fourth quarter. Again, as we mentioned, next week Cumberland Valley goes on the road to Central York. We'll have that game for you on ABC 27. Looking forward to that one. Some other great matchups. I'm excited about the Steel High Trinity game. It's always a great game. It's one of my favorite ones. Middletown at McDevitt. That's going to be a fun game this year. So we've got a lot here on our 2018 High School Sports Live schedule, so stay with us all season long. We're going to try to bring you some of the best games, best matchups. 3rd and 6, Easterday. Give is Demir Kennedy. He's a junior. He's 5'10", 160. Get an opportunity to carry the ball left side.
And again, these Cougars haven't given up. They're still trying to, lay the wood a little bit, gang tackling, and that's a sign that they're still fighting to the end.
Well, how about Jameer Henderson, the sophomore there, that made that tackle? He's 300 pounds. He's 5'10". He's only a sophomore. There's a name we'll be calling throughout the years here at Harrisburg. As you mentioned, Harrisburg still on their schedule. I mean, they're going to win football games, but Central Dauphin and Cumberland Valley and State College, I mean, the matchups in the Commonwealth and just, you got to be battle tested.
Yeah, even Chambersburg had a big win last night as well against Greencastle. They put it on them pretty good.
Just to see how that Chambersburg team will be. See, there's always surprises in that Commonwealth. You never know. Any given Friday.
Carlisle had a big win yesterday as well. So, again, there's a lot of, the football season just begun. I mean, this is the beginning. So, you still have a whole season to play. A lot of opportunity. You can come back from this. And then that's, if you're Harrisburg, you look at that and you say, you can come back from this.
You know what time it is? I think it's
What time is it, Todd?
Jerome, it's time for your favorite thing, the hit parade.
Hit parade. And when we talk about the hit parade, oh, my God, Kane Everson gets it on. He gets hit by Thompson, your guy. And then you see the big hits coming on the sideline. You got big defensive backs, Brown, coming up and making a solid hit. And even receivers get into the act. Dupree Bryant delivering the boom. You see guys, the gang tackling from Coatesville today has been exceptional. Then you get Harrisburg gets into the act. They got to get a little bit of hitting in there too. Hit parade is always clean hits. Keep your head up. No spearing, no late hits. Just clean, solid Pennsylvania football.
That's what it is. I always like the hit parade. Stay tuned for our post-game analysis and our Pizza Hut play of the game and our Hoppin' Ford player of the game coming right up. We'll have Grace have that opportunity in our next game, too. Another great matchup coming up. Cumberland Valley on the road against Central York Friday night, 7 o'clock kickoff time. We're excited to be going down there to that one. Cumberland Valley, Central York, and I'm just excited to see two big, strong, traditional packed teams play in our next broadcast. So please stay tuned. Follow all the action on highschoolsportslivetv.com and ABC 27. We also welcome our PCN viewers today. This game 37-6. Been all Coatesville from the second half on, or second quarter on, really. First quarter from the start. Harrisburg was backed up, if you remember, and took a safety and gave a short field to Coatesville. They turned it into a score. Before they blinked, it was 9-0. John McNeil stretching his legs going across the 50-yard line.
And a good pass. Really good pass by McNeil to number 13, Kamir Day. Okay, now you have the backups and the backups together. Now they're playing each other. Both teams have sat their starters for the most part. You have the backups in the game, and you want to get out there too. Get on the stat sheet.
McNeil rolling left. He's going to keep it crossing the 50. He'll be knocked out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Coming up to make that tackle for Coatesville was Poppin Shockley. He's a sophomore, 175, 6 foot. Well, second down is 7 for the Cougars. 3:14 to play here, fourth quarter action. Twin receivers left, single receiver up the screen across the 50. McNeil drops off right side, across the 30, across the 20. Big pickup for Harrisburg. It's Kamir Day on the catch.
And there's no quitting the Cougars. The backups are in the game, and they're trying to move the ball. And they're moving it very well right now. And again, regardless what string you're on, you're a starter, you're a backup, you want to get points on the board. And that feels good going in the locker room, see if you can get in the end zone.
McNeil dumps off to Purdy. Purdy crosses the 5-yard line. Giving Harrisburg an opportunity to put one here. Punch one in late.
Yeah, that's
kind of a pride touchdown. Well, Purdy ran hard.
Again, get in the end zone. Build for the next game. Build for the morale. The starters that are out, they want to see the backup score as well. So, of course, you want to see them get in and cheer them on.
And there's a fumble, and Coatesville will have it. Coatesville will have it. It was a
bobble snap.
Bad exchange, and coming up making the recovery was Jonathan Thomas, 5'9", 170-pound sophomore. He's seeing some younger guys in the game now.
One step forward, 2 steps back.
Yep. So Coatesville will have the ball back. And Eddie Easterday will come in. It's a little celebration on the side with the sophomores. Some of the starters getting in on the action and helping left side give going across the 20 and the 30. Running hard was Amir Kennedy. He's a junior. He's saying next year, hey, I want some carries. He's putting a bid in right now. How about it, Jerome, for opportunities in the future?
Hey, if you're a backup, you get a chance to get in the stat sheet, man.
Coach, take a look at what I'm doing, right?
You say, hey, I was in the game. Tell your family, tell your lady, yeah, I was in the game. I'm on the stat sheet.
Tell your family, tell your lady. I'm going to tell my lady first.
I was in the game. I was in the game. Not only was I in the game, I put some stats on the sheet.
Big pickup. 20-plus pickups. Trips receivers to right for Easter Day. Kennedy again on the carry, left side. Coatesville is trying to run this clock and getting positive yardage as they do it.
And Lemire Wigfall, the defensive end, makes the tackle for Harrisburg, getting in the game. The junior.
It'll be 2nd and 8, 1:57 to play here in the fourth quarter. Easterday will put it up. Looking downfield, fires, incomplete. It hit the receiver in his hands. Number 23, Malachi Harris, the junior, 185, 5'11", on the drop. Again, not a bad ball. A little high delivered, but you throw the ball up there for your receivers to go get it.
Good coverage on that back end as well.
It's going to be 3rd and 8 for Coatesville. Ball on the 36. Trips receivers right, single receiver left. Easterday relieving Ortega here in the fourth quarter. The give was to Kennedy.
Number 18, once again, Amir Kennedy.
And again, no fighting the Cougars. They're still coming out trying to keep this score where it is and get ready for next week.
So Coatesville just let as much time run off this clock as they can in between each play. It'd be 4th and 7. If you're Eddie Easterday, maybe you find a way to pick up a first down here and keep the change moving, then you can take a knee. See the Johnson pushing forward, and Johnson may have it. Well, no, he'll be short. Sorry, he'll be short. So Harrisburg will take over on downs. Have another opportunity here on the close of the game.
And again, 42 seconds, Todd. Try to score. I mean, try to get some points on the board.
Sure.
Those young kids, it'll be good. Good morale, something to build on. Try to get the end zone.
We've had an absolute beautiful, gorgeous day here at Harrisburg. Nice cool breeze, flag flying high. These are the pleasant games. Starts getting cold in a couple of weeks. Toes getting numb in the press box.
I think we're good for a little bit. I think we'll be good for at least a month. Then it'll start chilling up. Now the problem is it gets dark at night. It gets a little cooler in the evenings, and that's when we have those evening games, which is the rest of the way through. So.
McNeil's pass was incomplete. Providing the pressure was Lemire Brown. He's a junior, 185-pound, 6-footer. It'll be second and 10, 37 seconds to leave. McNeil and the Cougars trying to see if they can put something here on the board before the close of the game. Pride touchdown, in other words. McNeil with time, looking over the field, incomplete. Intended receiver was Demir Wigfall.
Well, again, I can tell you right now, Coatesville, they don't want to give up these points. So these young Coatesville kids, they want to make sure that this score stays exactly the way it is.
Neal looking right, going to have to roll left, crossing the 45, the 40. Still on his feet, bouncing out at the 35.
And this is valuable experience for McNeil.
Stay tuned for the close of the game here. Grace will have our Hoffman Ford player of the game, and it looks like we're going with Ricky Artigo as our vote across the board. John McNeil right side. McNeil stops, plants, fires downfield. All passes thrown right where you'd want to give an opportunity for your man to get it. And importantly, Kyril Williams, the junior, 170 pounds. The ball was delivered a little high, but it was in his hands.
Yeah, he had a chance to get a touchdown.
You'd like to see McNeil help do that. McNeil's got a good ball, man.
Yeah, it's a good ball, but you have to get that down. I mean, there was nobody to really throw over. So you want to, you got to work on that accuracy and getting that ball to your receiver. And as a young player, you know that's what he's going to have to do is learn how to focus on ball placement and where he puts the ball when he throws it.
You'll stay tuned for our giant post-game show. We'll have post-game analysis, our Pizza Hut play of the game, and we'll have our Hoffman Ford player of the game. It's coming right up at the close of this game, which is going to be real soon here. Coatesville's given Thane Kalen an opportunity to come in at quarterback, but that was the last play of the game, and Coatesville is going to come away with a big victory here. The number 3 ranked team in 6A has defeated Harrisburg 37-6. We will have our giant post-game show coming right up, our post-game analysis and our Pizza Hut play of the game. And Grace Grill, our very own sideline reporter, will be with our player of the game, Ricky Ortega, our Hoffman Ford player of the game. That's all coming up on our giant post-game show.
Under a new state law, all electronics must be recycled.
Welcome to the Dauphin County Recycling Center, where recycling is quick, easy, and free.
You may recycle appliances or even cell phones.
We're open 6 days a week, and recycling is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Contact our helpful staff at the Recycling Center or visit our website for more information.
Help us protect our planet, because tomorrow does matter.
What were you thinking, Chuck?
You're not 18 anymore.
Is my leg supposed to bend like that?
6 months on the heating pad. I hope it was worth it.
I wonder if cartilage grows back.
Yep, that's gonna break right in half.
This looks so easy on TV.
Groff Tractor is your full-line equipment dealer representing Case Construction and many other leading brands, serving the total sales, rental, parts, and service needs of its customers. Groff Tractor paves the way for your projects from start to finish. With 11 locations, Groff Tractor is always close by your equipment needs. Groff also offers 24/7 field service. Groff Tractor is your #1 source for everything under construction.
Every day, we pride ourselves in what we do. Hard work is put into every pre-owned vehicle we put on the road. We make sure they are all safe and reliable for your peace of mind. Your real value comes from the Hoffman name and the people that stand behind it. So if you're in the market for a pre-owned vehicle, just call me, Ryan.
Let's go down the field. Welcome back. Let's go down the field with Grace Grill. She's standing by with our Hoffman Ford Player of the Game, Ricky Ortega. Grace?
That's right, Ricky. I don't know if you are aware of the hype surrounding this game specifically, but what does it mean to come out and win this game in this fashion?
This atmosphere, I mean, we knew it was going to be tough, but we were prepared as a team, and this is a great win for us and our family, and that was just great to come out here and get a win. That's huge.
Now, you were able to connect with a lot of guys, getting everybody involved. What does that say about the work you guys put in to come out week one when a lot of teams are finding their identity?
I mean, yeah, we just work hard. We have this chemistry even growing up since we were little. I've been playing with most of these guys since I was 8 years old. So, I mean, it was just great. We had this love and together as a team, and we just fight. And then nobody's selfish, and everybody get the ball and manage the wins the game at the end of the day.
So is this the type of performance we can expect going forward?
Yeah, hopefully. I'm trying to play my best like this every game.
All right, that's our Hoffman Ford Player of the Game, Ricky Ortega. Guys, back to you.
Well, Ricky Ortega, thank you, Grace. Ricky Ortega had just a sensational game. I've been doing the things that he's been doing the last several years. We weren't surprised. I mean, that's why he's entertaining offers from Villanova and Colgate and Army. And now let's take a look at our Pizza Hut Play of the Game. Jerome?
Yeah, and again, this was the throwback Philly special for Coatesville. And getting it back to your quarterback. And again, they did 3 trick plays, and the timing of them were amazing. You don't typically see that at the beginning of the season, that they would do it this in the first game. So that's a lot of guts, but more than that, a lot of faith in the team and the players you have.
That was a 13-play, 9-play drive, a 13-yard hookup. That was Young to Ortega as opposed to us saying Ortega to Young. Coatesville comes away 37-6. A big anticipated game. We were really excited about this matchup from the get-go, and it had its share of hits and it had its share of plays. And right away, Coatesville came out early and got a safety and then a short field, and they operated quick, and that was really what they did. They struck first. It's just like snake bitten is the best way to describe the Harrisburg Cougars. And Ortega goes up 9-0 before they knew it. And Kane Everson said, wait a second, at 13-0, he said, I'll get in here for 13 yards out, and made it 13-6. But more importantly, Young to Ortega. Coatesville comes away with 37-6. We have a great game next week. Cumberland Valley, Central York. On behalf of Invictus Sports, High School Sports Live, Jerome Presley, Todd McCall, Grace Grill on the sidelines. Have a great day and a wonderful afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Ortega on the keeper across the Ortega on the keeper across the 20. Ortega rolling to his left, looking downfield, and it's wide open.
Total blown coverage by Harrisburg.
Coverage is blown, and Miller will.
They're going to be formidable in the Commonwealth Conference for this league. So you got Central Dauphin who really handled Wilson last night as well. So
formation. Halfback packs option. They're going to go to Ortega's side, and they fool him. Touchdown, Coatesville. Oh my goodness. Formation. Halfback packs option. They're going to go to Ortega's side, and they fool him. Touchdown, Coatesville. Oh my goodness. Formation. Halfback packs option. They're going to go to Ortega's side, and they fool him. Touchdown, Coatesville. Oh my goodness. Everson with the rush coming. Got to get away to get out of there. He's not going to get out of there. Is he going to get out of there? It's defensive secondary. Ortega. Oh, we got a halfback pass. Look at the end zone. Touchdown. The roughing the passer penalty against Harrisburg.